All right.
Woo!
Hello. Welcome to episode 8 of A Blockbuster Year 1985. I'm Brandon Mindell. With me always is Jay Ryan. Tonight we are talking about a Rambo First Blood, First Blood Part 2. Let's pop in the tape.
Thank you. Oh, geez, I'm terrible. Here it comes. Here it comes. Popping in the tape. Gee whiz, popping in the tape.
Oh my goodness.
I'll be honest with you. I was so proud of myself in the beginning, and then I just and that didn't work out.
Hello. As you can see, we have another person here with us.
Yes,
Uh,
introduce him.
yes, people may know him as an actor, a YouTuber, a hardcore collector. He's Appa from Kim's Convenience. He's Uncle Iroh on Netflix's Avatar: The Last
Oh my
Airbender.
goodness.
He's Captain Carson Teva in The Mandalorian, Book of Boba
Holy
Fett,
moly.
Ahsoka. He's soon to be an author. That's coming out. But most importantly, he's one of my best friends in the whole world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to A Blockbuster Year, Paul Sun-Hyung Lee.
Woo!
Hey, thank you so much, Brandon. That's so lovely of you to say that. I'm one of your best friends.
You are one of my best
That's
friends.
amazing. Thank you so much. That makes me feel so happy.
I don't know Paul
It,
at all, but thanks for being here, Paul.
Okay,
I'm looking
I
forward
tell
to
you,
getting to know you.
I am looking forward to getting to know you too. Brandon speaks so highly of you and your entire crew. I joke that it's like when he went to a story, it's like he found Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
he had a religious experience, and it's like, oh, Brandon's got his new best friends, his Goonie
yeah.
best friends, and so it's quite. I mean, Brandon, he's amazing, and so like if he speaks highly of anyone, they're amazing too. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
I guess you're right, and I appreciate you saying all that. My experience has been he's so nice and amazing to everyone that I just assumed he was that way with everyone. So I
No, not
appreciate
everyone.
that.
Yeah, there's definitely people I don't like, so that can happen. Um,
Coming on episode 9 of a blockbuster
yes,
year. We're gonna go down the
yes,
list.
yeah, exactly. A tease for episode 9 is my enemy is coming on for the next episode.
Well, thanks for being
Uh,
here, Paul. This is fun.
Yeah,
Oh, this is great.
this is super cool. I'm so excited to have you on my show.
Yes, sir.
I've been on your show, on your YouTube channel, The Bitter Asian Dude, for a number of times. But I'm so excited that I have my own show now, and I get to invite you to be on my show.
Yeah, that's super exciting. It's about time, Brandon. And honestly, you and movies are like, yeah, it's absolutely a match. You are sort of in our group like the movie guru, right? If there's, I mean, Brandon, he's an avid collector. He knows the deep cuts. He's passionate about it. He goes above and beyond whenever we go shopping for physical media and stuff. And I love seeing how excited you get when you dig up some sort of relic from the past.
Yeah.
And it's really really cool. And I love talking movies with you. I love watching movies with you in the movie theaters as well.
Ooh.
And
Yes.
yeah, I was just so happy when you asked me because I was kind of hoping you would. So here
Oh,
we
of
go.
course, of course. I mean, I will say you are also an avid physical media collector. I drool at some of the things that you've picked up in your collection because my focus for my collection is a lot of like VHS and like weird, like found physical media. We'll say like lots of thrifting and all that kind of stuff. But what you primarily collect are big box sets and really nice steel books and collector sets. The term you always you call them one clicks,
Right.
where companies will sell a box set that has like all the different versions of, are they steel books or,
Yeah.
yeah, all the different artwork on steel books in one box set or one click of the mouse to purchase that.
Yeah.
And you have quite a few of those, and they're just beautiful.
They are. They are. But like a lot of collectors, there is space danger.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
And
looking behind you there, Paul. You're running out of
yeah.
space just for a lot of things, but that looks amazing.
Thanks, man. It's this is My wife jokes that we moved houses just so I'd have more room for my toys.
But it's
And
not. She's not
this has
joking,
been
obviously, right?
no, it's been a couple of years in the making, which is great, and it's still ongoing, if you can
Yes.
believe that. So
Well, collecting never stops,
yeah,
as I know, and as you know. It's like once you're a collector and it's in your blood, you just you can't stop.
yeah,
I'm always looking for movies.
yep, yep.
Yeah. Before we get into the movie, I do quickly want to just give a quick shout out. Jay, you had a birthday on Saturday, so I just
Uh,
live on the show. I just wanted to say happy birthday,
Hey, happy
and
birthday!
and I hope you're feeling better because last episode you were a bit under the weather. You had some COVID going on. You,
I will say thank you. Thank you for the birthday. And yes, I don't really remember our last episode. If you recall, I was feverish and I said we probably shouldn't do it, but obviously for this show, there's no crew here. So it was just me home alone. And you were like, well, it's Saturday Night Live and there's a lot of stuff in the news this week, so we should probably cover it. And I was like, okay. So I don't really remember that one. I did take notes for Rambo 2, however. But I appreciate it. Thanks, man. I'll have to go back and rewatch episode 7.
yeah. I mean, already you sound better and you're very lively. So
Thanks,
you,
man.
you,
Yeah.
you seem a lot better.
Yeah, I never got COVID the first time around when everyone else did 5 years
Yeah.
ago. So, luckily this bout wasn't too bad, but I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. Thanks. And
Well,
then there
and
are some folks here. Oh, that's you saying, hey,
that's
Blockheads.
me. I forgot that I was on the BC DeLorean. I'm trying out a new nickname for everybody. Blockheads.
Blockheads
Nice.
is pretty good. And Gannon Appleby says hello. Barbara Peterson, sorry I'm
Hi,
late.
Gannon. Hi, Barbara.
Happy belated. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Barbara. And oh, thanks everybody. That's very kind of you. I forgot that we did it with an audience last week. I really.
Yes.
Whew.
Yeah. It was a good episode. I mean, we played some clips, got flagged for copyright, and then it went through, and they were deemed fair use. So the SNL 85, the Weird Year episode, is up on the YouTube channel now. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it live, it's available there for you. Big deep dive into the history of the season 11 of SNL.
Since we're doing shout outs, can I give a shout out to your dad?
Sure.
Yeah, your dad was down here the other day with some other friends of ours and some massive
Yeah.
Goonie fans that we met up in Astoria. But most specifically, he hung out at the Poltergeist house with some of our
Yes.
friends. And that to me is super, super, super cool because I love that. I know it's not 1985, but
Yeah.
that is one of the movies of my childhood.
Yeah, both Adam the Woo's Poltergeist House video is out, and Justin Scard from Random Land, his Poltergeist House video came out today or yesterday. I can't remember. I watched it today. But yeah,
I hate to trump both of those guys, but
Yeah.
a week or so earlier, shoot, I met him at the Pee Wee thing.
yeah, Malfunction.
Yes,
Sean
Sean
Clark, I believe.
Sean Clark, exactly.
Yes.
His video came out, and they're all good. But I would
Yes.
definitely check out Sean Clark's because the production value that they put into that of recreating some of the effects and stuff from Poltergeist was crazy. It was
Yeah,
crazy
so-
to see.
Sean Clark is a legendary filming locations, specifically horror, mostly filming locations video producer. I'm sure I've talked about him on this show already, but like some of his videos end up as DVD special features on
Yeah.
some of these releases that Paul and I buy.
It
That's
was
how
so
good-
clear why. I
Yeah.
mean, his production value was just through the roof. It was
Yeah,
so
he's
impressive.
a legend. So
And then also, just as a plug for the future episode of this show, he's willing to do one of our, he's willing to do this podcast too. So I told him either Friday the 13th, part 5, or Nightmare on
Yeah.
Elm Street 2, both 1985.
yeah, well, October's coming up. Spooky
Right.
season's right around the corner. So
We're gonna have to figure out how to do remote shows because I'll be on the road all of
yes,
October.
yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. But tonight we are talking about John J. Rambo.
Yep.
Sylvester Stallone's 1985 classic, I would say.
You throw out that word way too easily, in my opinion. But okay.
Well, let's. I'd like to start here. What is everybody's thoughts on Sylvester Stallone as the film icon? Where do you stand, Paul, on Sylvester Stallone?
Well, I mean, oh man, how do I capture all of this? I will say this. Okay, the man is an entertainer. He burst onto the scene with Rocky,
Yeah.
Yes.
obviously, and for a while he was touted as the next De Niro.
Yeah.
Rocky was a hard hitting sort of. He wrote it, he directed it, starred in it, all these different things. It won Oscars. Fresh is his first thing, and there were some really really fine moments of human interaction and human story in that. And then you see the progression of his career where he can't quite recapture that seriousness in his performance, and he becomes the sort of figurehead for. I mean, it was him and Schwarzenegger really going head to head
Yeah.
for the '80s, the prototypical '80s action star, and Rambo: First Blood Part Two is a perfect example of that transition from a psychological sort of like real sort of drama, seriously acted, and then you see it sort of blossom into this
Yeah.
xenophobic, ridiculously over the top, uber violent,
Yeah.
unrealistic sort of portrayal. Like his character is completely transformed,
Yeah.
rippling with muscles. He's got a higher kill count than the entire U.S. Army, it seems,
Yeah.
in the entirety of the Vietnam War. And you just sort of it just takes it to that next level. And it's one of these movies that I have difficulty with just because, the portrayal of Asian people in it is
Yeah.
terrible.
Of
First of
course.
all,
Yeah.
but this is a guilty pleasure of mine just
Yeah.
Wow.
because it is so ridiculously over the top and so stupid. I mean, it is so comic book esque.
Yeah.
None of it is real. And you
Yeah.
look at it and go, this is even the Asian people in it aren't real. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a leading Asian character in it who's actually Vietnamese either. So, I mean, there's so much to unpack in all of this, but this is a movie that I remember watching. I should have been watching it, but I remember watching it in the theaters, and it was just so. I mean, that was the '80s. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous action. It was guns that never ran out of ammo.
Yeah.
Main characters who only got hurt when they needed to get hurt, type thing. And so, yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It was just pure mindless sort of entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's what I took it from. And I mean, I own it. Like I bought the Rambo set, right? Like I
Yeah.
have, it's like a Rambo's coming out. Got to get part 1, 2, and 3. Saw part 3 with my dad, and that's even
Yeah.
more ridiculous, right? And
Yes.
so it's this is a movie where it's kind of like one of those what do you call it? Guilty pleasures
Yeah.
in a sense for me, where it's just like, you know what it's all about. Hey, Indiana Jones, same thing, right? Like the Temple of Doom. The portrayal of Asian people in that is terrible,
Yeah.
but it's
Well,
still a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I think Rambo First Blood Part 2 is one of those like TV dad movies, right? Like it is just exactly what dads of 1985 wanted. It just yeah, I mean you said it perfectly, Paul. Like it's it's so different than First Blood, the 1982 first Rambo movie, um, and it kind of has led us into this world of almost like Fast and the Furious, where they reach a tipping point where it just gets so
Mhm.
out there and
That's
so
not fair.
comic
That's a
booky.
terrible comparison. It took like 4 or 5 movies for it to happen in Fast and the Furious. This is an
No,
immediate.
but my point is, but we do reach a point where, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's 1 to 2, but like in the Fast and the Furious,
It's more
franchise,
progressive in Fast and the Furious.
yes, this is uh, this is very drastically different than the first movie, and I mean, I love First Blood. I love First Blood so much.
May
Yeah,
I?
Jay. Yeah, of course.
I child of the '80s, grew up in this time period, but I missed the first Rambo because I was the First Blood because I was too young or whatever. Right, I was only 5 or something when it first came out. So then my experience with Rambo as a series was watching the commercials and the trailers for all of these cartoony version. Hot Shots made fun of it. With
Yeah.
whatever, all the body and the ammunition and all the other stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. Charlie Sheen. And I had never seen First Blood, and I just assumed that I didn't like it because it was part of this franchise. A couple years ago, I saw First Blood for the first time and was
Yeah.
so blown away by not only everything about it. One, how wrong I was, first and foremost. Two, how good Stallone was in it. I would argue that he did actually achieve that Rocky status with that First Blood,
100%.
because it felt like an art movie to me. It felt like a political statement. It felt more
Yes.
like this is someone's. It felt like people weren't supposed to see that movie. It felt like this is made for some people that I know, and I'm going to put it out to show what I think about. It felt like it was put out by an ex-vet, honestly, like an actual veteran who had come back from war and seen that the country was fighting itself instead of other. Like, none of it made sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched that one again just to refresh my memory before putting part two
Yeah,
on
me
today.
too.
Wow. I mean, I think I made a mistake because the drafts the comparison is really rough, and it is a cartoon, and I have no idea why they called it First Blood 2 when it's not a continuation of the first movie.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's a fail for me across the board. But again, I didn't see it way back then, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear more positive stuff because I thought Paul was going to
Hey,
dish on it too.
yeah,
He's like,
no.
"But it's a guilty pleasure."
I do. I mean, the nostalgia hits hard for me because I think it's like they're kind of like Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
They're designed for like young kids and like dads, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that sense, they're really just. It's just this sort of visceral sort of like feeling. You remove logic. You put
Yeah.
a very simplistic sort of scenario at play. A guy who's been wrong. You put him in there. He's supposed to be rescuing these guys who have been abandoned. He's a vet. He's gone through the ringer. He disobeys direct orders, finds a guy that shouldn't be there, goes above and beyond to get him out, is betrayed, captured, escapes, and then has to break them all out and make them all pay. And the villains are over the top cartoonish. The Russians who are portrayed, the Spetsnaz come out. They're like just.
By the way, was that
it's-
Victor Maitland? Was that Victor Maitland
Yes.
from Beverly Hills
Yeah.
Cop? It was. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Same
Yes.
actor. Same actor. And this was, this was the first, no, maybe second time he played a Russian antagonist.
Yeah.
There's another movie.
Octopussy.
That's it. That's it in the Bond movie.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, for what it is, it's just a popcorn movie where you just watch shit get blown up.
Yeah.
And you kind of go,
And
yeah.
time and time again. I mean, this movie has so many explosions. It gets to a point of like absurdity and almost like hilarity.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I'm a huge comedy fan, and so at a certain point, movies like Hot Shots Part 2, right? Hot Shots Part 2 and UHF,
Yeah.
they parody Rambo, and they make fun of the amount of explosions and just those imageries of his muscular, sweaty body, that it does kind of seep into my psyche, that when I'm rewatching this movie, I'm like, it's kind of hilarious. Like, there was things in this movie that I was laughing at because it's tropey now, right?
Right.
I use an example. One of my favorite movies of all time is Streets of Fire, the Walter Hill film, a rock and roll fable. I love it. I think it's so cool. It is very tropey as well. And I recently went to a screening in a theater, and people were laughing during the screening because it's so tropey. And there's like a sledgehammer fight with Willem Dafoe, and Tom Cody is like the tough guy who only says a couple of words, like Rambo. And I realized, like, yeah, if you don't have the nostalgic connection or something, like, it can be very funny. And there was a ton of stuff in Rambo First Blood Part 2 that legitimately made me laugh because it was so, it's so cliche now, right?
Yeah, I thought it was on purpose. I thought everything you're talking about was on purpose.
Oh,
It
I
seemed
don't
like a
think
choice.
so.
I mean,
Not
it was
in
not like it was
Sylvester
directed
Stallone.
well. It wasn't acted well. I mean, nothing. There was nothing really that great in it at all. Whereas the
It was
first
all-
one was packed with quality, packed with
Yes,
quality.
totally
And the
agree.
relationship between Dennehy and Rambo, that
Yes.
whole thing, like it's just a misunderstanding. It's
Yes.
literally just one big misunderstanding.
wanted something to eat.
Yeah. There's a diner about 30 miles up.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you talk about the quality, the one thing that Rambo First Blood Part 2 is known for really is the set pieces, things
Yeah.
blowing up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it got to the point where I did some digging, and one of the explosive experts on the movie died
Yes.
because they
I have
shot
his
that in
name here.
Acapulco, and he blew himself up. He got blown up.
Oh my God.
Cliff Wenger Jr.
Yeah.
The film is dedicated to him, and it was in somewhere around the big waterfall explosion. He fell off the waterfall, unfortunately, and accidentally died.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But I think for me personally, Paul brought this up, but like in the 80s, there was this dichotomy of Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And personally, I have always been an Arnold guy.
Yeah.
I love Arnold through and through. I love the action. I love the drama. I love the comedy. I love everything that Arnold really does through his career. I've never
Not the maid,
been,
right?
Not the maid. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Arnold.
I've never really been a Sylvester Stallone guy, and part of that is because I've always got the feeling that he wants to be taken seriously as an artist, but then there's lots of stuff like Rambo First Blood Part 2 that just comes across as like, I don't know, just kind of, again, I'm going to say it, like tropey and just not as artistic. And Rocky is a great movie, and for all the reasons that Paul said. And First Blood is a fantastic movie for all of the reasons of Sylvester Stallone being a writer and a good actor, but his career kind of is like all over the place in terms of what I think he wants to be perceived as.
That's
And it's
interesting.
precisely because of movies like this that people stop taking Stallone so seriously. And so whenever he tried to become a little bit more, pull back more to the serious side, people just didn't buy it. The thing with Schwarzenegger was there's always a sense of a bit of a wink to the camera whenever he did shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And it was always kind of like he knew what kind of movie he was making. He wasn't trying to like Brandon said, he wasn't putting on airs. It was what it was, and he knew exactly what it was. He was very charming in it, and it was all like we were part of the adventure. Whereas for Stallone, it felt like overly earnest. I mean, his speech at the end of First Blood Part 2
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
you could just, this is, you could see it in his head. This is my Oscar moment. This is my speech to tie everything up, to show what every vet wants at the end, for our country to love us as much as we love it. And it's like,
and sorry, just to interrupt you for a second, and to directly compare that final speech to his final speech in First Blood, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Because I feel for John J. Rambo at the end of First Blood. I understand where he's coming from, and it is effective. But
He expresses himself. In this one, at the end, he just shoots up the place.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a form of expression if you're like,
I guess you're right. I have a
so.
question for the two movie experts. It seemed to me like, okay, the first movie was the first movie, and then this second movie was an answer to something else, not the first movie. Did Commando or Terminator or something else come out in the meantime that this was like a reason to pump up extra and do everything a little more?
Well, yes, Terminator came out the year before, 1984.
Okay.
Commando, I could look up. I don't have the date.
Is that 83?
No, Commando's 85 because we're going to talk about.
Oh my God.
We're going to talk about Commando on this show.
Okay.
So it's not like answering anything specific. It's not saying like, oh, he was so big, I'm going to be bigger.
Well, but the first draft of First Blood Part 2 was written by James Cameron.
We can get into that. So,
Yeah. And but he said he's on record saying, "Oh, I just wrote the first draft. I did all the action in it."
Exactly.
But Stallone came in and changed all the stuff because apparently they wanted Rambo to go in with a comedic sidekick, and
Yeah.
they wanted a young John Travolta
Oh
to
my.
play his sidekick,
with
who
whom Sylvester Stallone had just worked with
in
in
Staying Alive.
in Staying Alive,
Oh.
a movie that I will say I thoroughly enjoy. I do think this is a great movie. I think it's underappreciated. But
Another
yes,
classic.
You're right, Paul. They wanted originally, and this was James Cameron was connected to this idea of having a wisecracking, humorous sidekick
Right.
going to Vietnam with Rambo, and they were talking about John Travolta, but Sylvester Stallone vetoed that because it's like
Rambo works alone.
Yeah.
well,
he
but,
wanted
but
it
also
to be a
all the
solo.
good lines were being given to the sidekick.
Also, Rambo's not a sidekick guy. I mean, that defeats the purpose
No,
of who Rambo is
totally.
and why.
Although, I mean, if you look at Rambo Part 3, Troutman is becomes his sidekick.
I haven't.
In that.
I haven't
I mean,
seen past 2 yet. I don't know that I'll
Dude,
make it.
it's so
Yeah,
bad.
It's even worse.
You kind of have to watch it because it's so bad.
Oh,
right?
I hate when that happens. All right.
I think a perfect sort of like an amalgamation is actually Stallone's Judge Dredd movie.
Oh, God.
Because in that movie you have Rob Schneider as the tough guy's comic relief.
Right.
And to be honest, that is one of the things that I dislike the most about that Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd movie. Is the attempt at comedy in that movie. That movie doesn't need it, right?
I have
But
to agree
I-
with whoever said it before that Arnold seems to be a little bit more adept to comedic delivery and winking.
Yeah.
You said winking before,
Yeah.
sort of like you get the nod that he knows it's campy too.
Yeah.
Whereas you're kind of right about Sylvester Stallone, sort of, I'm playing it serious and this is how it is.
But you
Yeah.
know, it's one of those things where like First Blood Part 2 comes out and it's the first sequel that makes over like $20 million.
Wow.
Yeah, before we get too deep into release and all that kind of stuff, let's just run through some of this production stuff, and then we can start talking about plot, and then
Sure.
we'll get to release. So Rambo comes out May 22nd, 1985, from Carol Co. Pictures, who is defunct now, and distributed by TriStar. Shout out to one of the most iconic film intros ever, that running horse. It just like lives in my brain.
I miss the old Korolko opening though, with the
It might-
laser that goes with the C's,
Yeah,
and then you hear doom 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 doom
Yeah.
doom doom doom. I mean, that was
yeah. So the Blu-rays and DVDs now they Studio Canal, I believe is what the production distributor is. But my VHS here, my VHS of Rambo First Blood Part 2, and I got them. I got First Blood and Rambo 3.
Oh
They
my.
all contain those original Carol Co. Production logos. So Rambo is directed by George P. Cosmatos. I think this is probably the most famous thing he did, second to maybe Tombstone.
Whoa.
He came and directed Tombstone and Cobra, and the year or
I like
Oh.
Cobra.
Cobra's
Cobra.
86.
Here's
I
the
believe.
thing. Sorry. So Stallone was supposed to. They wanted Stallone for Beverly Hills Cop initially.
Yes.
So apparently, Cobra is his version of Beverly Hills
It's
Cop.
Yeah.
his dark answer to Beverly Hills
Yeah.
Cop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm dying to. I
As a
did not
fun-
know that.
As another fun fact,
And you work with Victor Maitland. That's hilarious.
yeah.
Right.
Currently, right now in Los Angeles at the Peterson Auto Museum, our screen used Mirthmobile Wayne's World car is there. Directly across from our car is one of the screen used Cobra. I think it's like a Mercury, like a silver Mercury. Is
Oh, cool.
that what it is? I can't remember.
I
But yeah,
don't know. That
that's
sounds right. Yeah.
yeah, that's in
Like
the
a
museum
cougar or
directly.
something. Yeah.
Something, yeah, directly across from the Mirthmobile.
Oldsmobile?
I don't.
I'm gonna look it up.
George's son is also director. I want to shout out Panos Cosmanos. He directed two movies I love. This is Beyond the Black Rainbow and Mandy. Mandy is an incredibly dark, weird, graphic, violent film with it is very fun though. And this Beyond the Black Rainbow is one of the weirdest cerebral horror movies I've ever seen. One of my absolute favorites.
Wow.
And that's the son of the director of Rambo, who at a time lived in Vancouver out here, which I thought was pretty cool.
It's Mercury Monterey.
Yeah, Mercury. Yeah.
Wow.
So one of those is sitting at the Peterson, looking straight at the Wayne's World Mirthmobile. The story was written by Kevin Jarre, who ended up writing Tombstone and was apparently the original director until George Cosmatos came in to replace him. But he gets a story by credit because he just came up with a spec script. And essentially his idea was, what if Rambo went back to Vietnam and saved POWs from a camp? He's quoted saying, like, that's basically what he said on the phone to Sylvester Stallone. And they said, okay, let's do it. So that's why he gets story by credit. Then the script, the screenplay is written by Sylvester Stallone himself and James Cameron, who we had discussed about. And then, yes, James Cameron has a quote saying, like, I came up with the action, Sly came up with the politics.
Yeah.
So essentially, it kind of works out that James Cameron wrote the first draft of the script, Sylvester Stallone wrote the final draft of the script. But, go ahead, Paul.
Sorry, what's really funny, when you were talking about Kevin Jarre writing it, and then he was supposed to direct it, and George P. Cosmatos ended up coming in, and you were talking about First Blood.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Tombstone. Because
So did I,
almost
at
the
first.
exact...
No, that is
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that is Tombstone.
Yeah, okay, because then because I was like, that's what happened on Tombstone. And I thought,
sorry.
did history repeat, like...
No.
Did this happen before, like on 2 movies?
No, Kevin Jarre was originally directing Tombstone.
Yeah.
And he's uncredited. But yes, George P. Cosmatos came in and replaced him on Tombstone.
It's actually quite interesting because talking to Michael Biehn at when we went to Phoenix Fan Fusion last year. Oh my God, it was so long ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. And apparently, it was actually Kurt Russell who kind of took over. George was kind of there, but it was like Kurt Russell really sort of took over as the director as well, because people weren't listening to George by that point either. And so, yeah, it was like this really sort of interesting dynamic that was kind of going on there. But like certain people had to keep their titles.
Did you say it was John Bean where you heard that? Because it might have been John and Jennifer where I heard it as well.
Oh, really?
It might have been the same story.
So it was Michael Biehn. So
that's what I mean, Michael Biehn. I'm sorry.
Last point, Kevin Jarre also wrote the Brendan Fraser Mummy, the 1999 Mummy movie. All of the characters, or well, I guess the character of Rambo comes from a novel that was released in 1972 by David Morrell. The interesting thing is that in that novel and the original ending of First Blood is, spoiler alert, Rambo dies.
Yeah.
And they shot that ending for First Blood, where it's on probably most DVD releases, but basically
does he still give his speech, or do they kill him before the speech?
No, I believe he still gives his speech, and then right after that, he basically gives the gun to Troutman and says, "I want you to do it."
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and in the book, it's a bit more graphic, but in the movie, he kind of just like shoots him in the stomach and
gets old Yellard.
Yeah,
right. Take him out behind the barn.
In the alternate ending, you could probably, say that maybe he survived because it kind of just like fades out on like on Rambo's like closed eyes. But much like any sort of like successful movie, you want to be able to have the option to make a sequel.
You gotta make money.
Exactly. Well, and we'll get to it, but this movie made a ton of money. So Sylvester Stallone, we've already touched on him. He has Rocky at this point, 1985. He's releasing his fourth Rocky movie. Um, he also, oddly enough, so 1985 is Rambo: First Blood Part Two and Rocky Four, but
Oh.
1982
Oh, right.
is First Blood
And Rocky 3.
and Rocky Three. So
Oh,
two
wow.
years in a row does he have a Rocky and a Rambo movie coming out within the same year.
Hmm.
But you
Um,
could say as well, like Rocky kind of goes the same way that Rambo goes, where it gets more and more ridiculous as he goes
yes,
along,
yes,
right? Because you could argue, Rocky 2, where he finally does get to win, and that's a great movie too, right? Like watching Carl Weathers come back and like you just see that element of it. And in
That feels
Rocky
like a real
3,
sequel. That feels like a
yeah,
continuation of the same story.
yeah. And in Rocky 3, it's just like there's a nice spin to it because Rocky's sitting on his laurels, and then clever
yeah,
Mr. T, right? They
Yeah.
they come in, and then Rocky having to learn the box left, box southpaw and this and that. And then it's by Rocky 4, it's like he's fighting Russia. He's
yeah.
fighting Drago. And you guys are going to get into that when you cover that movie. But then Rocky 5, he's like, what the hell is going on?
Is
And then
is
it
Rocky
just,
5 when he's lost everything, or is that part 4?
yeah, no, that's
Part
part
5, they're
5.
okay. Yeah, they
And he's
packed up the
old,
house
and
and
then yeah, and like is that the movie where Adrian dies? Is she dead in
I
that
think it
movie?
I think it might be,
Yeah.
yeah, because then they got
Yeah,
the kid, the kid from Heroes is the new guy, right?
that's right. Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
is that
Milo Vin.
Rocky?
Milo,
Yeah.
yeah, Milo.
But is that the one that's just called Rocky that came out?
No, that one's afterwards because there's
It,
Rocky Five is just some young.
yeah,
He
Tommy
looks kind of
something.
like Brock Lesnar kind of
Tommy
guy who's
something.
just.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
it.
don't think I've ever seen that then because I've never seen past four.
Yeah, Rocky's supposed to be taking this new kid under his. He's taking the new kid
That's it.
under his wing, but the kid is a punk and he's not a good guy, and
Yeah.
Pulls
yada
a
yada
Karate
yada.
Kid 3 on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
So
obviously we will cover that. And I haven't done all my Rocky research yet. But one of the things I assume is Rocky is Sylvester Stallone's character, right? He created Rocky Balboa.
yeah,
Yep.
So I think that maybe there's like a different way he approaches that character as opposed to
Hmm.
John J. Rambo is an adapted character, is somebody else's character adapted from a novelization, and he is part of the screenplay for First Blood, but he's more a part of it for First Blood Part Two,
yeah,
and
100%.
maybe he's a little less precious
Ah.
with the character of Rambo and his overarching story, his journey, um,
Um,
than Rocky.
You
I
mentioning
I
how
don't.
busy he was too is a part of it for me. The fact that he was doing so many other movies at the same time.
Yeah,
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 I don't know because that speech at the end screamed precious to me. And then, you get into Rambo Part 3. There's a little bit more of that sort of earnestness. We're gonna help.
Really?
We're gonna help the Mujahideen fight against those evil Russians. Like it's Cold War territory for sure, where the Russians are the bad guys,
yeah,
the bad guys. And then you get into like, uh, what was that? The Rambo, John Rambo, right? Where he's like, it's now way in the future. It's
oh
in the
yeah,
future. These Christian missionaries come to get him,
yes.
and then Rambo.
2008 Rambo. Is that what you're
Yeah, and
talking?
then Rambo at the end, just Rambo, where it's just like
Yeah,
by this point he's taken so much HGH and
yeah.
he's so jacked,
I know.
and
I did
it's
not rewatch that Rambo for this episode, and I've never seen what's it called, The Last Blood.
yeah. So
I,
I have. So here's the thing. So this is
okay,
the thing, right? Like it's that entire series, and when you see the progression of the character and then the regression, and then it's kind of like the gritty reboot of this
yeah,
cartoon character from the 80s, and they
Mm.
bring it up, and it kind of feels like for the final movie, Final Blood, it's like, hey, you remember in First Blood Part 2, we blew all that shit up and we killed all those guys? We're gonna do better. We're gonna beat that record. Because it is like that bit with the
yeah.
Spetsnaz in the forest and Rambo's taking them all out. They just take that and they amplify it by like 1,000%.
And it's because I'm sure they believe that that's what the audience wants from a Rambo movie, whereas me personally, that's not what I want from a Rambo movie.
Yeah, well, that's what Rambo had become, though,
Yes.
to this point. And so the legions of like its fans or people who paid money, who
Yeah.
continue to pay money to that franchise, they don't want the psychological sort of drama of that.
Yeah.
They just want to see shit get blown up
Of course.
and bad guys getting killed.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit, but there's still little lifelines where they're trying to justify why he goes off the deep end, right? There's a little bit of politics in the last movie, like Rambo. I mean, the last two, basically, because they're really trying to make the bad guys pieces of unredeemable shit, so you
Yeah.
don't mind when they get chewed up and just absolutely eviscerated.
Yeah.
And in that final movie, it's like he goes to Mexico and it's corrupt over there, and his goddaughter gets raped and murdered. And so it's like all this weird, and he
Yeah,
meets this
yeah, it's
reporter
dark.
character whose husband was killed because of the government and this and that. And it's just this
Yeah.
weird sort of mix of
Yeah.
him trying to get a bit of that, the little bits of First Blood.
I was
in there?
I was not into that 2008 Rambo movie at all. I've seen it one time and I was like, this is really not what I want out of this type of movie. But
Did it seem like the wrong time for that also to anybody else? Like 2008, it was, we had Superbad that year, and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and that's the tone of movies we were putting out. You know what I mean? Like, who asked for another Rambo in 2008?
Yeah, with where he rips out a guy's throat.
Yeah.
I like it in MacGruber. It's funny in MacGruber, but that's all I remember from that 2008 Rambo is he rips out a guy's throat.
Man.
Where were we?
Going off on a tangent.
Yes. Well, let's talk about Richard Crenna, because
It's me.
Richard
Just
Crenna
letting the gang.
is the other character that appears in the first three Rambo films. He plays Colonel Troutman. He's the Green Beret that trained Rambo to survive and fight and claw his way out of any situation. He is pretty great in these movies.
I agree.
I think he really pulls it off. He's like a little bit smug, but he's also like charismatic, and you like him.
So does anybody else? You guys saw these movies way back when? Were you waiting for him to turn into a bad guy? I kept waiting for him to be the switcheroo guy who wasn't going to be solid with Rambo. And I don't know if it's because I programmed for him to not be a good guy in other movies. I mean, this is the same year Summer Rental came out. So I'm picturing him from that, the incisor. But like, I kept waiting for him to double cross John Rambo in the first one, and then I thought for sure it would happen in the second one. And he's a stand-up guy throughout.
It's so funny because they cast Charles Napier as Murdoch.
Yeah,
right.
From A-Team, right? He was the colonel on the A-Team, right?
Yes.
No, no, he's but I mean he's always played the heavy in all these movies that I've seen him, and so you look at him and go, okay, excuse me, he's the heel, right?
Yeah.
He is definitely the heel. He's
Yeah,
always played.
I know him from the Blues Brothers. That's what I associate him. He's
it's hard to eat corn on
the
top with no
good old
fucking
boys.
teeth.
He's
Oh
the
yeah,
leader
so
of the
that
good
is
old
the guy.
boys.
He's the colonel from the A-Team that's always trying to lock up the A-Team.
No, isn't it? It was a different guy.
Oh shit, could be.
It was a.
I'm old now, Paul.
Yeah, the guy that's chasing him wasn't Charles Napier.
Are you looking it up, Jay? Because I'll look it up too.
Oh yeah, if you can, because my eyesight's shit.
Sure. I'll look it up.
But Paul, make your point too, because I want to watch you do this show every week.
He's that guy that is always, you look at him and go, okay, yeah, no, he's an asshole. And then you pair him, one of his underlings is what's his name? Martin Kreese from fucking
Martin Cove.
Karate
Martin
Kid.
Cove,
Yes.
Martin Cove, yeah. So
much
he's
credibility
an
with
asshole
both of those
in
guys.
everything he's right. And so you kind of go, you've got heavy set there. I mean, this is not a subtle movie.
Well,
it won't have that twist where you're kind of surprised by it. It's literally what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
The in-country helper, the one Ko Bao, a terrible
Yes.
name.
Yeah.
Like she is absolutely like. First of all, she's not Vietnamese. She's not even fully Asian. She's of mixed heritage,
Yeah.
which is fine. But you look at it and go, okay, so they couldn't find any Vietnamese people to play
Not
these
in
roles.
Mexico, apparently.
Not in Mexico, but I heard they had to go to a bunch of Chinese restaurants, and they
Yes.
did
Yes.
find a lot of background performers to fill the. But of course, she's overly earnest, and she falls in love with Rambo. And
Of
her
course. I
big thing
know.
is,
I know.
you not expend like the fucking. Oh my god, it still kills me the dialogue. But you're not expendable, Rambo. And she's like, you take me with you, like this
Yeah.
whole thing where it's like
And
her life is so shitty. She
I-
has to go with the American guy
yes.
who's shooting everything up to get out of this hellhole.
Yes. And then, of course, and then she dies. Like it's
Oh my god! And how she dies
yeah.
is brilliant. It's up there with the Simpsons parody of McBain. It's that whole thing. It's like, hey, McBain, you keep eating them hotcakes. You're not going to make it to retirement. He's like, Scoy, get a life. He's like, not me. I'm going to live forever. I've got this. I'm retiring. And this guy comes out and bam, 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 shoots him like a million times. That's what happens to her in the movie. She
Yeah.
gets filled in, and it's so unsubtle.
Yeah.
And Rambo, after dispatching all 4 dudes that shot her, she, her last thing is like, you not forget me. And then
You're not expendable.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a different scene.
Yeah, but she's like, you not forget me. And
Yeah.
it does that thing. And then, of course, he takes her little jade necklace, which is way too small for his like steroided up
Yeah.
neck.
His big, thick neck.
Yeah, he gets the strip that she used to.
I've never noticed that before.
Oh, yeah.
I think I actually think it's pretty cool that like one of the most iconic things of Rambo is his red headband.
Yeah.
Comes from her shirt.
I didn't get that
after
either till
she's-
today. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you can see it in the 4K release, you can actually see the pattern
Wow.
of her skirt, like of the shirt that she's
Yeah.
wearing. You can just see it's
the
got
woven,
a pattern
the
on
woven
it.
texture.
The
Yeah,
whole scene felt very Titanic to me. Promise me you'll let me let go.
Yeah.
The necklace and the fucking we're
my
in the
God.
water. She did get blown apart though, like another set piece though. It was like they blew the boat
Oh, yeah.
apart, then they blew the girl
Oh, yeah.
apart, then they blew
They're-
everything apart.
This movie
it
loves
is
blowing
it is the
people
same
apart.
guy from the A-Team, by the way, Colonel Briggs, Charles Napier.
It didn't come up.
they must have recast because I remember a different guy too.
Yeah, it could be.
I
It says
think
he only did 2 episodes, and I thought it was more
Oh.
than that.
Yeah, no, because there was another guy that did it for the rest of,
Gotcha.
or maybe they replaced him and they had another colonel take over because this guy was so ineffective. That might have been it. But
That's right. He couldn't
Right.
find them.
yeah, But,
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Martin Kove from The Karate Kid. I think it's interesting to cast a villain in like the year following. Karate Kid is 1984. How do you expect to sort of make it a twist when you have somebody who just portrayed a villain come in and like he's so cagey that
Can
like
I tell you,
of
they got
course-
me. They got me. I
Really?
thought he seemed like a good guy. They kept showing his eyes, and he didn't seem like Kreese from Karate Kid.
Well, I mean, he's maybe like
Until they did the switcheroo in the
confused.
helicopter, I thought he was a good guy.
Yo,
Yeah.
but I will give him I will give him credit because he was like, say again, repeat. Like he didn't
Yeah.
go ha 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 fuck you and just turn
Yeah.
around and go.
I guess
You're
the
right.
other
The guy in
guy
the back was more like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he went straight to the
Lifer.
gun on Troutman.
Yeah, don't be a hero.
I just want to read my note about Charles Napier. It's I just wrote an evil military face. Like he just has one of those military faces, right?
Yep.
People may know him also from the Austin Powers movies. He plays a colonel or a lieutenant or somebody
Oh
in,
yeah.
in the Austin Powers movies. I quickly want to shout out 2 of the actors. Dana Lee, who played the pirate captain.
Oh,
He was an actor. I was like, I know that face. I know that face. And it's because he's Mr. Takahashi from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh my God.
Yes. So he was
from the club.
yes, from the club in the Black
The
Swan.
goose. Yeah, the swan.
Yes,
Right.
yes. So
my gosh.
he's the pirate, the pirate leader that Ko coerces to take them on. And then George Chung plays Tay. He's like the captain or the lieutenant
Who gets
of
blown up with the arrow?
Yes, so he's the one who famously gets blown up at the end by Rambo.
He's a
But
great character actor, but that kill I even wrote here, great kill. That was the
of course.
highlight of the movie for me.
Iconic. But I recognized him instantly from Starsky and Hutch. He has the interrogation scene from Starsky and Hutch where
In the movie one.
Yes. I
Yes.
should say yes. The Ben Stiller Owen Wilson movie where Ben Stiller accidentally puts the bullet in the gun and he's like playing Russian roulette with
He's
him.
like, no, he thinks it's in there.
No,
He doesn't.
no,
He
no,
thinks it's in there.
Yeah. And then he's also he's in ironically he's in Rush Hour, the first Rush Hour. He plays the limo driver in one of the most, like, besides any of the Jackie Chan stuff, but the kidnapping scene at the beginning of Rush Hour I think is one of the most iconic because you've got the little girl singing the song, and then he plays the limo driver, and then Ken Leung, who's also from Avatar,
Yep.
one of your coworkers, is the blonde baddie in the first Rush Hour, and so that scene always. So as soon as I saw his face, he's much younger, but I recognized his face, and he even has the little mustache still in both Starsky and Hutch and in Rush Hour, and I was like, I know that guy. I gotta find out where I know him from.
Can you guys give me just 1 second? Hold on.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
We'll go through some. Oh, look, Kevin Mendel's here.
Yeah.
Just catching up on the intro, and yeah, that Poltergeist house was so awesome. That's so cool. Watching the movie now?
Oh, it says watching the movie on the same CRTV in the actual living room was so cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, and Steve 3 is here, I see.
Steve 3 is here, and I didn't know who's the guy from Cocoon he's referring to?
I don't know, Steve. Are you still here? Who's the guy from Cocoon you're referring to?
That's another 1985 movie we're going to do, right?
Yeah. We'll talk about it. It actually it knocked Rambo off of its #1 spot the week it came out.
Oh, whoa.
Just for one week though. All right. I'm excited to talk about Richard Crenna some more. I'm a huge fan of Summer Rental. I can't wait till we get to cover Summer Rental on this podcast.
Me too.
I got to shout out again. I've showed this movie already, but one of the most fascinating things about Hot Shots Part 2, the parody movie, the Jim Abrams parody movie of Rambo 2 and 3, is they cast Richard Crenna to play the Walter, I believe his name is.
Whoa.
And he's essentially the same character to John Rambo in the Rambo franchise that he is to Charlie Sheen's
no way.
version in Hot. Like he's a Green Beret, like, Rambo's the best. We'll get him. Rambo will go on the mission. Like he plays the same character.
I think I've only seen the first one. Now I'm going to add Part 2 to my my queue.
It's a lot of fun. It's got some really good parody jokes in it.
I loved the first one. I thought the first one was hilarious.
Yeah, and that one's more of a send up of Top Gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part 2 is like all Rambo. Like, and to be honest, Charlie Sheen is jacked in the movie too.
I think I didn't see it way back
impressive.
when because I didn't get the source material. But now that I have a better understanding of the source material,
yeah,
I probably get the parody better.
Again, it's another parody. I didn't pull it, but Richard Crenna plays the Tommy Lee Jones part in Wrongfully Accused,
I have that one too.
The Fugitive parody movie, and he is I love Leslie Nielsen. That movie is okay, but all of the Richard Crenna, U.S. Marshal Tommy Lee Jones bits in Wrongfully Accused, they all hit. They're all so funny, and Richard Crenna is so good in Wrongfully Accused.
Steve 3 says, my bad, I was channeling Rambo #1 in my haste. So there's somebody in Rambo 1 that's also in Cocoon?
Yeah, must be. I've never seen Cocoon, so I
my God, Brandon, what is going on?
I don't know. Isn't it? We've
What?
talked about this because I always confused it with is Cocoon and Batteries Not Included. I
Oh
always
yeah, but they're
confuse
both
them.
excellent.
I know, but aren't they both about old people?
Yeah, and aliens.
So I don't know. It just
You're right. I think
I
Jessica Tandy might be in both, though. Actually, I
She
think you're
is.
right.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Yeah, but
um
Brad Bird wrote "Batteries Not Included," and you'd like him.
oh yes, exactly. This is why we had this conversation. I remember this.
Sorry, everybody.
Um yeah, I mean at this point we've pretty much hit all of the production stuff. Shot from June to August in 1984 in Guerrero, Mexico, and Thailand. Um Stallone trained for 8 months in archery and SWAT and survival. The
And
only other
lifting frickin' weights. He was
oh yeah,
huge.
so jacked in this movie. Just
Boys,
doing
boys. It's called steroids.
yeah,
He looked like one of the fake suits that everyone else puts on to
Yeah.
make fun of it. Like even Johnny. So this was such a big part of culture. Like even Johnny Carson did bits as Rambo. Do you?
oh
Not
yeah.
that you would remember that, Brandon, but you maybe have seen clips of it.
Um,
Yeah, the
Robert,
muscle suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the pop culture references to Rambo
Yeah.
were abundant in the
Totally.
'80s.
I
Yeah.
mean, this we're gonna talk about it, but this is the second biggest film of 1985. It's
What?
it's it's
Yeah.
huge. This
Behind Back to
movie
the
is
Future?
just behind Back to the Future.
That blows
So
my mind because one is excellent and one is not good.
yeah,
People aren't going to see it for the story. They're watching it
exactly.
to see shit get blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
were people
the
just over it in
blowing
the
up
80s?
blows your mind. Like that's what it is. Like it's
It
just
is, yeah, it's stunning the amount of stuff that they blew up. And in fact, it did so well that in Rambo Part 3, that's actually one of the most expensive movies at the time, one of the most expensive movies ever made because of the sheer number of explosions
yeah,
Gee
and
whiz.
dynamite and tanks and like all this stuff that they had.
yeah.
Like I was really shocked by that. But of course, it's because of the success of Rambo 2
Right.
that they thought, well, let's just blow more stuff up. I mean, it was
Right.
so great this first time through. Let's blow stuff up in the desert now
So
instead of in the jungles of Vietnam.
the first Rambo is supposed to be Pacific Northwest, but they shot it up in Canada by you, Brandon, right?
Yeah, in
Oh.
Hope, British Columbia, which is about 40 minutes east from where I am.
And the second
Beautiful,
one,
beautiful area.
and the second one's supposed to be Vietnam, but they shot it in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where does the third one take place, and then where did they shoot it?
It's
know-
supposed to take place in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Where did they shoot it?
I did not extend my research into Rambo
Let me look
3
into that.
because I wasn't
Oh,
the
is it a
biggest fan of
3D?
Rambo 3.
No, it was not in
oh
3D.
My
Oh,
God,
okay,
I
all right.
wish.
That would have been perfect.
I
Oh
thought I
my.
heard you say.
If they had Rambo 3 in 3D.
Oh my God. I'd be a big lover of Rambo 3D. Come on.
Yeah, you know what?
Bazooka,
the bow and arrow
right,
would have been
right in the
nice.
frame. Yeah. Oh my God. Post conversion. Somebody needs to post convert Rambo 3 into 3D. The only other sort of production interesting thing is apparently Robert Davi was supposed to be in Rambo First Blood Part 2, but turned it down to do The Goonies.
No way.
Yeah.
He would have been great.
So-
He's such a good villain.
Yeah, but I think he made the right choice
Yeah.
in terms of legacy
Yeah.
because he is such a standout.
I feel
in
like
the
who would he have
Goonies.
been? Like the Martin Cove character, probably, or one
Yeah,
of those guys.
that's what I assumed.
Yeah.
I assumed that he was one of those two guys.
Right.
May-
And then we see him.
maybe-
We see him in one of those Hueys, right, in Die Hard, as one of the FBI agents who gets blown up.
Yes. Yeah. Agent Johnson. No, the other one. There was, I'd heard as well that Dolph Lundgren was supposed to play
Yes.
the colonel
That's
initially,
the-
but then when they
the-
found out, they actually signed him, but when they found out he was going to be in Rocky 4 as well, they said no, and they bought out his contract.
Yeah. They didn't.
Whoa.
Yeah, they didn't want Stallone to be fighting Dolph Lundgren 2 times
Twice.
in '85.
I mean, that makes sense.
Well, speaking of him, Steven Burkoff plays Podvosky,
Yeah.
the Soviet leader. For me, I think the coolest thing is he worked with Stanley Kubrick twice, both in A Clockwork Orange. He plays one of the detectives interrogating Alex. He's actually the
Oh.
one that's roughing him up
No
In that
way.
interrogation scene, he like sticks his thumb in Alex's nose, and then he has a fencing scene in Barry Lyndon. So he got to work with Kubrick twice.
Wow.
And then yes, you had alluded to he's in Beverly Hills Cop, and then and in Octopussy as well. Those are I think some of his most notable roles.
So Rambo 3 was filmed primarily in the United States,
Okay.
in
Interesting.
Yuma, Arizona, the Eagle Tail Mountains of Arizona, and in the Coyote Mountains wilderness of Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah, and then a bit in Thailand.
Yeah.
And it's
And
supposed to
Israel.
be the hills of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah,
makes sense then.
it's,
If they were blowing all that stuff up and if the production budget was so huge, it makes sense why they wouldn't want to fly everybody somewhere else.
Yeah.
I just saw it, $63 million budget.
Okay.
Ooh.
Good. I was
For
just going to
Rambo
ask you that
3.
if you
In '87, that would have been a fortune.
Yeah.
So Rambo or First Blood, 1982, budget was 15 million. Rambo First Blood Part 2 bumped up to 25 million, and then and then Part 3 is 63 million, as Paul just said.
That's
The first
crazy.
movie is that they're paying for talent and some helicopters, right, and some police cars because there's not
Yeah.
a whole lot. Like they didn't pay for. It's all shot in the woods.
Yep.
Other than Dennehy and Rambo, there's not like big names, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't even
there
figure out
was
how
a
they
young
spent
David
$15
Caruso.
million.
Young David Caruso, Chris
Oh.
Mulkey from
Yeah.
Twin Peaks
I
is
forgot.
in it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it really, like, First Blood is a small indie movie, if you want to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
for 1982. But it clearly was like, well, we got to put more money into this and more explosions for Part 2.
Wow.
We've kind of gone through a lot of the plot. Let's just hit some of it because there's a few key sequences we've missed. So the film opens up with Rambo in prison. It's 3 years post the exciting activities of First Blood. Troutman arrives to give this opportunity to Rambo of going back to a computer program has picked his name out as one of the only people that could go back to Vietnam, and essentially they want him to take pictures of POW camps to prove or disprove whether or not there is still American POWs in Vietnam. And if he's successful with that mission, he'll get a presidential pardon and be out of jail.
In the beginning, at the top of my list here, I wrote good premise. We need something from John Rambo. That's the excuse to get him out of prison. This makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a good premise.
I
That's
love
where it
that
ended.
the opening shot is the explosion
I know
into
it
the side
sets
of the
you up
mountain.
totally.
And everybody's like, there's no safety.
No,
You can
I
still
thought
see rocks and shit falling, like raining down, and they're breaking rocks still
Yeah.
underneath. Like
Yeah,
the
the
total
explosions-
disregard for safety.
Totally, and the explosion, literally the first thing of the film that you see is an explosion. It is setting you up for what this movie is going to be. Rambo.
I didn't realize that at the time.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Makes sense.
Fun
hindsight
fact.
is 2020.
Fun fact too: the original, like the James Cameron opening, he was supposed to be in a mental institution.
Yeah. I read that.
Ooh. See, I
Yeah.
like that better because it sort of bummed me out that Rambo went to prison when all he was doing was being a good soldier.
Yeah,
He
And
he
so-
didn't. I mean, yes, all those guys died, but he wasn't out there killing them. He was just trying to find something
Yeah.
to eat. And Brian
They
Denny, he was
drew
kind of a
First Blood.
yeah, exactly.
Well, they set him up. He had PTSD, and
Yeah.
he snapped, and all of it was so believable because they were being abusive to him. They're beating
Oh,
him
yeah.
up. He snaps. The guy's a trained killer, so he reverts to his training, and he just does what he's trying to do to survive. It's
In-
heartbreaking in
Yeah,
the tragedy.
Yes.
In
Right,
First
of-
Blood.
yeah.
In First Blood, we see one of his flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they're pinning him up against the wall, we see his Vietnam War flashbacks of being tortured and cut across his chest with the knife. So
I
in
would
that
like to see an-
situation,
I'd love to see an alternate cut where like you know, he drives them to the bridge. Rambo starts walking back across the bridge, and they both go down and sit and have eggs somewhere at a diner, and they both just talk it out, and everything's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been great.
Yeah, so then we meet Murdoch and his friends, Martin Cove. They're in Thailand. The mission is to take the photos and not to engage. His instructions are purely just to it's recon is what they want. He gets a bunch of tech, and we have this awesome montage of him loading up his knives and flexing his muscles, and he's already sweaty and greasy.
I made a note. It was only 12 minutes in. We were at our first musical montage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's cool. Like it works for me because I'm like, yep, this is what I'm in for in this kind of movie, is just this like weapons montage.
But that's what kills me. He's there for recon, and he's packing explosive tipped arrows. Like, it's marked in the little
I know.
explosives.
Okay, Paul. I literally wrote down.
And Rambo's not the guy you hire for recon. Rambo's the guy you hire to kill everyone in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, my note is love the muscle knives tech montage, and then I wrote in quotes explosives label, because it's like it's like I understand communicating to the audience, but sometimes it's just like so blatant that it's laughable. Big red letters, explosives. Yeah. But yeah, what is he? Are they in his pocket? Like he just carries around these 4 explosive tipped arrowheads.
But the thing is too, it's like he brings an arrow because it's quiet.
Yeah.
And then he brings explosive tips to them.
Yeah.
Which is not quiet. It's
I
like,
didn't think about that.
Just get a loudener for your gun. Society, it's a loudener.
Yeah, a loudener.
Crazy.
Rambo gets on the plane. He's about to take the jump, and his bag strap gets caught as he jumps out of the plane. He's struggling outside of the plane, and he has to cut himself free. But what that means is he loses all of his tech, which at that point it didn't click until later. But I was like, he lost his camera, so like. The mission is compromised already. Like if Rambo was going to follow the rules, the second he lost his bag, he can't take the pictures.
But right from the get-go, he's not going. If he finds a dude, he's gonna get the dude.
Yeah,
he's not gonna be like, geez.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that.
Hold still. So Rambo is left in the jungle with nothing but his knife.
Well, before that, it felt a little bit Maverick and then very Mission Impossible to me.
Oh, so,
it felt like both of those had pulled from this scene.
Totally, because in Rogue Nation, Ethan Hunt gets on the side of that courier plane, but then
in the same area of the plane,
yes,
right?
And then in Fallout ends with a helicopter chase battle. Mm-hmm. That's done to a different level. I mean, it is hard to compare the two movies just in terms of like just technology that has advanced. Those Mission Impossible movies are more modern, but as we all know, that is really Tom Cruise hanging on the side of a plane, and that is really Tom Cruise flying these military helicopters.
Right.
But it is interesting to see that stuff still being done the same way that it was being done in 85. Mm-hmm. I don't mean in terms of like the practicality, but the fact that Rambo can hang out the side of the plane and Ethan Hunt can hang out the side of a plane and it still be entertaining.
The irony is, I think that
40 years later.
I think the irony is that Sylvester Stallone was probably done on an insert on a stage someplace, and then Tom Cruise, the little guy, was actually really hanging off a plane up in the sky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Where in that sequence in Rogue Nation, he's wearing thick contact lenses to protect his eyeballs from any sort of small pebble, little gravel pieces that would be hitting him at such a degree that they would take out his eye. So he's wearing these thick plastic contact lenses to protect his eyeball in that plane sequence. Insane.
He's nuts.
We meet Ko at this point. They have a little fight before it's revealed that she's a beautiful woman and she's the contact. Like, it maybe in 1985 it wasn't such a trope, but it kind of it exhibits like a bit of eye rolling. Like,
Did you guys know she was going to die the first time you saw it? I was like, oh, this pretty girl, she's probably not going to make it.
As soon as she says, "Take me with you,"
Oh, that's it.
yeah,
Not going to happen. Red shirt lady.
yeah, it's like, and you just did it. You just sealed your fate.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we just didn't think it was going to happen that quickly after it, though.
That's
which was
true.
hilarious.
No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
That scene that you're talking about does happen a little bit later because
Yeah, way later.
Sorry, Brandon.
She's arranged pickup with the river pirates, Mr. Takahashi from Curb.
So what I love is, we talk about the parody of Mr. Takahashi with the red beret. It's they take that exact image, and in Tropic Thunder, that little Vietnamese warlord kid,
Yes, totally.
same red beret, the same sort of bad overacting, where it's just like, it's just this horror. Like, you look at it and you go, okay, river pirates.
Yeah.
They're gonna screw you.
Yeah.
They're gonna screw you.
And the second that there is the military presence, they turn on Rambo and co.
Yeah.
It's not even like there's no radio to the pirates or anything. It's just like the second they see the military, they're like, okay, we're on the military side to save our lives. Let's turn on these two people. But before that happens, we have that scene where they're on the boat, Ko and Rambo, and it's their like first sort of like emotional moment. We find out that Rambo's good luck charm is his knife.
I love that part.
I know. And then he gives us the definition of the term expendable, which the only reason I sort of thought about it is because obviously Sylvester Stallone goes on to make the Expendables movies. So when he said the word expendable, my ears perked up.
Mine did too.
And then I wrote down his definition because
It's great.
So in the film, Rambo's definition of the term expendable is invite you to a party and it doesn't matter if you show up. But the real definition of expendable is of little significance to an overall purpose and therefore able to be abandoned. So I just was like, when he said it and then she asked, what does that mean? His definition, I was like, what are you talking about?
It means he doesn't know what it means.
Yes. If someone has a
well, that's
party,
one specific, very specific use of how someone's expendable.
I was like, what? And like I said, the only reason it really stuck out to me is because, how many Expendables? Is there 3 Expendables movies?
I think 5, maybe.
No way.
There's a lot. At least 4.
There's at least 4.
Okay, maybe there's 4. Yeah, there's 4.
But it's just a really bad. It's bad writing. It's a bad way to say you don't matter.
Yes.
Because when she says you not expendable, she means you do matter. Like that's the subtext to it. But the way he tries to explain it's just terrible writing.
Yeah. We get to the camp, the first camp. They are looking at it from a distance, and it appears empty. But then there's like one guy that comes out, and so now there's people in the camp. So Rambo goes in. Where are we here? He goes in and he sees a bunch of American POWs in the cage. This is where there's the rats and the tarantula, and then he sees the one guy outside the cage that's like strapped up, like he's being crucified or whatever, and then he saves that guy. And again, I don't know if you guys caught this, but did you realize that Rambo says, "I'll be back"? For this movie, I turned on the subtitles because I really could not understand Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I have no idea what he's saying.
What a subtle dig.
So I turned on the subtitles, and I don't even know if I would have caught it, But yeah, he says, "I'll be back," which, Terminator had come out the year before. This script is written in some degree by James Cameron, and then we have this whole like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of battle through the 80s. I know it's only 3 words, but I do think it's interesting that Rambo
There are
also
no mistakes,
says, "I'll
no
be
coincidences. I'm with you.
back." Then this is the scene where they make it to the riverboat. We see another military boat approaching, and the river pirates, they turn on Rambo and co. And then Rambo just kills everybody.
I was taken with the boat, the authenticity of the boat that the military was using. It was an actual, like, I'm a Top Gear fan and Grand Tour. I don't know if you guys like cars or anything, but they did one that was all on boats, and one of the guys had to recreate one of those Vietnam era plastic tub boat things because they didn't exist anymore. I guess they were all crushed after the war or whatever. I was kind of curious if you knew anything about how they got one for the movie, because I was actually really impressed that it was authentic.
No, it didn't even occur to me. I don't have boat knowledge.
No, I'll look it up because
cool.
I didn't figure it would stand out to anybody else. But you're so thorough that sometimes you have these nuggets.
Yeah,
it is one of these weird things though, where I read somewhere too that the Master at Arms, the guy that insisted that all the guns had to be real.
yes. It's the 80s.
That would fall in the same category because it had the big gun on the bow.
Yeah. But the interchangeability of some of the weapons were kind of like there's a Brandon, you'll get to this during the helicopter chase, but I clocked it because I was like, what? Because they intercut 2 different weapons in one, and it was just this weird sort of like, what? And when you bring it up, just remind me it's during the helicopter chase. But I also want to point out just this thing here, if you'll let me switch over.
Yeah.
So this is the cover for the Blu-ray, the 4K. And I just want to point out the fact that they've got an RPG round in the barrel of the machine gun.
Yeah, which should have lasers too.
Right? Look, it's like they've just stopped trying, it feels like.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
I haven't seen that artwork, but yeah. Because even on the poster...
He's got an RPG.
Is that what he has on the poster?
Yeah, on the poster, that's a proper sort of RPG.
On my VHS.
No, that's the machine gun, but like the one
this is just a VHS.
Yeah, in the
the poster down below.
Thumbnail that you have, he's got the proper sort of RPG.
But
and whatnot. But I just thought it was
all of that just speaks to this cartoon nature.
Yeah.
That it ultimately is Rambo First Blood Part 2.
What? They could have come up with a better name.
I know.
It's it feels like one of those cars with just too many goddamn badge on it, you know?
Truthfully, that's why in this episode I was like, every time I say it, I'm saying Rambo First Blood Part 2 because it's so convoluted. And just the fact that we have to say the word first, which means number 1, and part 2, there's just like something that it doesn't compute.
My childhood Never-Ending Story Part 2 always bothered me. Still does.
Really?
Never-Ending Story Part 2.
Yes, because if it's a never-ending story, there's one fucking story.
Just one continuation.
Everlasting Gobstopper. You should only need one.
Well, I think for Part 2, it's when they called it First Blood Part 2. I think that's what they wanted it originally, First Blood Part 2, just so that people would know. Okay, it's that movie based on
that one.
Yeah, right. And it was Stallone who said we should add Rambo to it because
Rambo's the character. Rambo's where the money is, right?
So Rambo, and then which is why they changed it to. So then when they did that, they could just say Rambo 3.
Yeah.
For the next movie.
Do you think that's his Rocky experience speaking? Because I agree with you. That seems to be the pathology.
Yeah.
Well, and First Blood, that's the title of the book. Right?
Oh, so again, he's trying to maybe separate
that,
personalize the.
What I do find interesting is they've never tried to change First Blood to Rambo. First Blood.
Interesting.
Right? It's still First Blood, but that seems like something a la Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah, I agree with
your plan changes, adjusting the way you market the title after the fact. but they've never done that with First Blood.
It almost has to be contractual because I agree with you 100%. It seems like one of the first things you would do. Anyway, those plastic boats are called PBR, and it's authentic. I don't know where they got one, but it's pretty cool.
Just while we're talking about the title real quick, there was a teaser that was released in theaters in 1984. I couldn't find it. I was really trying to find an image or video of it, but the title at that time was First Blood Part 2, The Mission. That was...
See, that's a good name. I'm in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Rambo
it's all
First
bad.
Blood Part 2, The Mission?
Yeah, not even Rambo, just First Blood Part 2, The Mission.
I mean, it makes sense to me because it feels like if you go into the theater thinking you're going to see part 2 of the first movie,
Yeah.
I am walking out. Like, this is so not the same type of art.
Yeah, for sure. It's just they clearly were realizing that Rambo is the strongest part of the character, or sorry, the strong marketing aspect of the character, the name Rambo, akin to Rocky.
Right.
And they really, it should have just been called Rambo 2. But yeah, no, you're right, because then they can't, then it's because it's First Blood. Yeah. It's tough.
But
So
it's not
here-
First Blood
this is
anymore.
the
You know what I mean?
same
Like, that's the old
conversation.
story.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And here's it kind of feels like that's the modus operandi, because you kind of go, they do First Blood.
Yeah.
And they overlook the great psychological drama, the misunderstanding the characters and stuff, and they kind of go, what do you think the audiences really like? I think they really liked when he ran off in the forest and went and started blowing shit up. It's like,
I think they like the M16.
Let's do that. Yeah, get the M60 machine gun. We'll give them
they
a
like when
different
he had
one.
bullets on him.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that, and it's like with Rocky. You kind of go, what do you think the people's favorite part was? His relationship with Adrian. Him working? No, they like the fight. Okay, so let's amp that up now. Let's do more of that. More of the fights, more explosions, more this, more that, and to get away from the character stuff, the story stuff. So it's very interesting, that progression, and that's kind of how the 80s kind of felt like, where they got something and said, okay, the big hit though was a climactic battle, so we're just gonna give people more of that,
right?
Less
Yeah,
of
it's like
Home Alone.
What story do we need to get to the finale?
Yeah,
the final set piece,
right.
What
And
services?
That's what Home Alone kind of feels like too, right? Like Home Alone, and then Home Alone 2 is you're waiting for him to get to the end so he can beat the shit out of Marv and Harry.
Yeah, and
Right?
and in the room, what's the pitch for Home Alone? It's like, yeah, kid's home alone, but eventually sets up all these traps, and that's the big payoff. But you because it's your climax and it's a film, you need at least, let's say, an hour of movie before you earn your climax.
Yeah. I
Barbara
used
Peterson
to
has
say
a
that to
good-
my kids.
Good point
all
here.
the
Everything
time.
was done to excess in the 80s. Good point.
Yeah. It was the whole, they'd always want to just skip to the end of the movie. I said, no, you got to earn it. You got to watch all the stuff before, and then you can watch this stuff.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's true. That's life.
Oh, speaking of, you guys were talking about homes in the movies that have been restored to whatever. I saw a thing on Instagram, the McAllister house in Home Alone has been completely gutted and redone. They've renovated it. So
Because it already was, and then I just visited it Christmas last year, and the exterior was still the same, but the owners who owned it then, who had, I think, have sold it since, had already done all of that. They already un-Home Aloned it. There's a basketball court in the basement and things like that, like really crazy stuff. But then I heard that the people who bought it were actually going to put it back to how it was, but maybe that's
just the
incorrect.
trend now. But
That's what I thought, because it's already a
Home
tourist
Alone,
attraction.
The interiors were a set
Yeah.
built in a pool. Oh, sorry, not that house, but
No,
but they were built-
you're correct. Both a pool and the gymnasium at the high school.
Yes, yeah, but the pool was the neighbor's house because they needed to.
They
flood
flooded it. Yeah.
But
No,
yes,
you know what? You're right. But isn't it also the basement of the McAllister's house?
No, it's the neighbor's house.
yeah.
The
Oh,
neighbor's
you're right.
house
You're right.
Because they're the wet bandits. They hit that house earlier, Marv turns on Marv turns
Yeah.
on the faucet, and then Kevin goes across, and that's the house that was built in the pool. But the interiors of the McAllister house were built in a gymnasium set in Chicago.
Yeah.
But I do know that is the shot of Kevin coming down the stairs and then out the door. The shot of him coming out the door, that is that exterior set.
Yeah, any of the outside stuff was, and then I
Of
think
course.
supposedly when he's looking at the neighbor next door, that's actually in the whatever that room is on the side of the house.
Yeah.
But apparently they doubled. You know, the sets were very similarly created like the house already was. If
Yes.
that makes sense.
I can't remember where it was. I think it was maybe one of those documentaries. There was a moment where the family at the time that was living in the Home Alone house, they got invited to the set that was built in the gymnasium, and they were so weirded out because they got everything, every corner, every nuance of their home was recreated, like the moldings and the doors and everything, that it weirded them out to walk through a set of their own home.
Brandon, was that Adam F. Goldberg's The House from?
I haven't seen that because it's not readily available up in Canada. It's
sir.
hard to find.
Oh, you're gonna love that when you see it. So it couldn't have been that then, but they talk about it in that as well.
It might be like Movies That Made Us or one of those other documentaries. But yes, that house documentary, the famous movie house documentary. I really want to see that one.
The guy who does all those is a friend of ours, Brian Wolk-Weiss. We should have him back. He did our show a long time ago. I bet he would do Blockbuster Year with us if we.
I would love to have Brian Wolk-Weiss. Is a legend in terms of Movies That Made Us, the Disneyland attractions that made us,
toys that
made us. Like, yeah, an absolute legend. Where were we in Rambo 2?
Who cares? This is such a better conversation.
The boat.
Okay, yeah. So everybody dies in the boat. Then they escape. There's the big mortar scene where they're running through the jungle. That's where we first encounter the helicopter coming, and they make the call that Rambo's found one. He's found a POW. He's got one of our own. And that's when we discover in the film that this is all a ploy. It's a sham, this whole plan. They didn't want them to actually find anything, and if they did find anything, they were going to lose the photos that Rambo had taken, and we find out that Murdoch is actually a bad guy, and he aborts the mission and forces Michael Cove to fly the helicopter away, leaving Rambo and the rescued POW soldier in the jungle to be captured by the Vietnamese soldiers.
And they had been telegraphing that that Charles Napier's character was full of shit, because earlier on he said, "I served in with the Marines," blah, blah, and Rambo says, "Do you remember when he said you was part of this unit? They weren't at this town. They're at another town or whatever." He whispered that to Troutman. Says, "You're the only one I can trust." So they'd already been laying down the bullshit-o-meter on Murdoch's character there.
I was listening to a podcast about Rambo 2, just having some other people to discuss it, and one of the points that was brought up on it's High and Mighty with John Gabris. They were talking about Rambo 2, and somebody on that podcast brought up the subtle point that if you watch Murdoch in all of the military base scenes, they have all these fans running, and he's always sweating, and he's always like fanning himself, that the heat is too much for him. And the point being, like, in Vietnam, the thing that should bother you the least is the heat. If you were like a real soldier, if you were really, there's so much else, there's so much more to be worried about than the heat. And a real soldier wouldn't be like complaining about the heat the whole time. So it's like a subtle nod to that he's full of shit, essentially.
Yeah, it also makes him shifty and shady, right? Because
Totally.
he's sweating all the time. He's not. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Shifty, shady guy.
So Rambo is captured, and he's brought to another POW camp, and I believe it's implied that it's like the same camp that he was in when he
Yeah.
was during the war. And
Oh,
Well, that's a hell of a coincidence.
I
yeah.
thought it was just the same camp that he'd freed that dude from, because they were all there.
Oh, maybe that's what they were referring to then.
We're back to the camp from a few minutes ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
I took it as like he was back, but that makes sense too because he he eventually blows that whole thing up.
Yeah.
And he is they go out of their way to they go out of their way to show us that the pit that he is being submerged in is full of pig shit.
And
there's
leeches and everything
and
else.
then
Leeches.
leeches, and he's being hung up and up to his neck in pig feces.
With basically no clothes on, too.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
his little G-string or whatever.
Right.
They pull it out. You see his little butt. So funny.
That was the
and
one.
then-
That was the one that when they pulled him out and he's on the thing and his little butt. That was the one scene where he really you really see his size.
Yes.
You know, because
Yeah.
he's really. I don't know if anybody's ever met him in person. He's really not a big guy. I called Tom
Yeah.
Cruise a little guy earlier, but they're probably very similar in height.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is a little bit funny, like out of context, though. Obviously, what's everything that's going on, but there is something very funny about his like him being hung up and like the frame is like perfectly his butt.
Yeah. And then Victor Maitland starts knifing leeches off his body,
Yeah.
Yes, and yes, exactly. Then
talking
we
about how
discover-
crude their methods are.
Yes, we discover that the Soviets are working with the Vietnamese army, and I'm not actually clear what the reason for any of this is. I don't know why they're working together. After this, he asks Rambo to make a call to his base to say he's been captured, and anybody else who tries to save Rambo or will also get caught and have the same fate. I don't understand why he's asking him to do any of this or what their
It's
just-
reasoning is.
It's best not to tug on those threads.
That's what I
because
thought, yeah.
Really, it's lazy writing. It's a
That's
plot
what it
device.
felt like, a plot point of convenience.
Yeah, we have to introduce the Russians
Yeah.
in here.
Is this the time
Because
frame
they
of it?
have the
Because we're
tech.
not fighting Vietnam anymore in 1985.
Ten-
So
10
what do we
years-
have? We've got the Cold War. So somehow we've got to get the Russians involved in this.
Yeah,
And historically speaking, I mean, the North Vietnamese were sort of supplied with Russian money and weaponry during the
Oh, okay.
Vietnam
So that's
War,
factual.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
Okay.
we're 10 to 12 years depending on what you call the end of the Vietnam War.
Right.
In 1985. But also, like, I think there's just something about the Russians and the Soviet Union in the 80s, right? The Cold War, like there's that is throughout the 80s, that was the new big bad that was portrayed in films. It's always the Russians, right?
Yeah. Rocky and Rambo, same year.
Yeah.
Exactly, which is why Dolph Lundgren couldn't be in this movie.
If he does, he does.
Yeah, so Rambo gets tortured, he gets electrocuted.
That was brutal. Although you really get to see his muscles, don't you?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like that's why that sequence is in there. It's like
Totally.
I gotta show off my muscles. If I get electrocuted, I can tense up. One of the things I thought was funny is in that electrocution scene, they make the point that whenever he gets the dial turned up and he gets electrocuted, the lights in the camp they dim. Right? But then later when Rambo fights him off and throws the goon against it and cranks it up all the way, nothing. There's like it's just like such a movie effect. Like, oh, look how much power they're pulling. They're dimming the lights of this camp.
It's like Christmas Vacation when they got to turn on the auxiliary power, you know?
Yes.
One of my favorite bits in that movie, though, is the whole when he finally sort of like they have the knife bit, you know, in the coals and this and that.
They
You're like,
heat it up,
"Oh."
bring in the POW.
Yeah.
threaten-
And so he's like, you know, okay, I'll do it. And he's there. And it's like, you know, thank God for subtitles, but when he grabs, it's all close-ups. His
Yeah.
sweatiness, and you see that close up of his hand just gripping
Yes.
that mic, and you can
Yes.
hear the skin go, and it's that low Murdoch.
Yeah.
Murdoch. He's like, "Yeah, Rambo, we're right here. Why don't you tell us where you are, and we'll come and pick you up." And it's just like that lightning is going. You
Yeah,
hear the
okay.
thunder.
So I'll show you. I'll show you my notes. I wrote down, Rambo radios the base, and the quote is, "Murdoch, thunderclap, I'm coming to get you." I don't know if you see it. Where is it here on this page? See if it shows up there, right there, down there. Murdoch, thunder, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah,
Because I was like, that, okay, that's pretty cool.
that was great. And then the look of panic on Charles Napier's face when he
Yes.
does that, and then he sort of explodes
Yeah.
in his escape. But I that was always something that I loved as a kid, watching that moment, to see that fury kind of build
Yeah.
and the threat, and it's just like he's planning on getting out.
And I do think that sequence is really good
Well,
because the torture is like, weird to say, but like exciting to watch. And then they realize that, like, okay, Rambo doesn't care about his own pain. Maybe he'll care about somebody else's life. So then they bring in the soldier that he saved, threaten him with the glowing red knife to the soldier's eyeball. But then all of that sequence, leading to what you were saying, where he grips the microphone, is like all Rambo planning. Like, this is how I'm gonna be able to fight them off. They're sort of letting their guard down by unstrapping me from this electric bed torture device, sitting me in this chair, and giving me a weapon, this big heavy microphone. So he's going to placate them by making the call, shouting out, but then he takes his opportunity, and his call is a threat to Murdoch, the real villain of this film, the one who has double-crossed him and caused all of this dilemma that Rambo's in, and then Rambo just takes them all out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I like this.
Yeah. There's a delicious moment beforehand, like little lines when he's interrogating him, and the commandant says, I see you're not a stranger to pain. Like, just really, really over the top sort of things. He says, why don't you do this, blah, blah, blah. And Rambo looks up at him, and his response is brilliant. He goes, fuck you. I laughed so hard at that. And then the guy that the actor who played, I'm going to call him Victor Maitland, the shift on it, because he is so outraged by that.
Yeah.
You can see that. Like, that's beautiful. That's a little beautiful moment. And then he calms down and he says, Yuri over here. To you, to him, you're a piece of meat, right? And it's just so over the top henchman with the bad guy, the mustache twirling. Yeah. And so they build it up to that massive sort of escape. And you're absolutely right, Brandon. It's the whole, he uses that to threaten, to say, hey, look, I'm coming after you, Murdoch. I'm coming after you.
It actually
These
felt
guys
like
are
the
nothing.
most believable writing, that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now, I think it might be my favorite sequence in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the other stuff, the explosions or whatever, like, it's, it's like maybe like, you could consider it like an eye candy sort of, like, it's cool to see buildings explode and all that kind of stuff. But for like a sequence that actually worked in a Rambo movie, the only other one maybe, but it's still a little bit laughable, is the jungle kill sequence that's about to come up when he kills all those guys in the jungle.
Jesus.
That's fun in a different way.
Yeah.
But this torture,
It's fun in a video game
Murdoch,
way.
Yes, exactly. But this torture to Murdoch sequence is like, it's a good sequence. It's shot well, it's acted well, it's written well. So
it's a real buildup of tension.
Totally. Exactly.
It's everything else is very viscerally, it's like a release. You're like, oh, he kills this. And it's like, oh my God, I'm releasing. Whereas this is a tightly, like, he gets so wound up and so, like, everything else is incidental. All of this is just so he can get back and fuck up Murdoch.
Yeah, Rambo has the control.
Right? And that's the thing. It's like that one line, it's like, you don't understand. He's not trapped in there with you. You're trapped in there with him. Like,
Exactly.
They use it in another movie, but it's like, Yeah. And so that's the spree. He goes on this massive killing spree,
Spree is
Yeah.
a good way to put it.
Yeah.
right? So
At that point, just before that, actually, Ko has infiltrated the camp by posing as a prostitute on a scooter.
the town
Because
whore.
yes, they see that earlier in the film.
Yeah.
They how the guards let the woman on the scooter in. So she's in under the floorboards with a machine gun, and so she aids Rambo in this whole skirmish to get out. And they escape, and this is where that river scene happens. They get out of the jungle. They're essentially, I guess, running away all night because the river scene happens during the day.
Yeah.
They have their exchange, take me to America. She gets shot up, as we talked about. Rambo takes the necklace, rips a strip from her shirt, puts it on as his bandana.
Wait. So I think that strip was
Yeah.
actually because, and this is very funny. While they're sitting there waiting, she gives him the bow and arrow. Says, "You might need this."
Oh, yes.
And she looks at his hand, and she says, "Oh, you're hurt." And she rips the strip to bandage his hand
Oh,
after all
yes,
he's
of
been
course.
through.
Yeah,
That's
you got a
the one
splinter there,
thing.
Rambo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're hurt. And he's got, forget the scars and all the,
Yeah.
the shit on his face with the hot knife. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you got a little thing on you. Here, let me fix that. I think-
Electroshock therapy, everything else.
Yeah, I think honestly that bit that he ties on his head is the bandage on his hand because he doesn't have it there anymore
Yeah.
afterwards.
That makes
Totally.
sense.
So
Also, shout out to the continuity of Rambo's scar that appears on his bicep from when he falls off the cliff through the tree in First Blood.
Oh,
sew
Yeah,
it up.
subsequently through all of the
very
movies.
good.
Yeah, Rambo. He has that scar. I also think, just thinking about it now, that shot of Rambo bleeding and like stitching up his own arm in First Blood is so. It looks so real. The way that sort of the blood kind of like pumps out of the incision. When I rewatched First Blood, I was still like, I was like blown away with how good that effect looks. But that's
There's a
not
movie where they
like-
make fun of that too. Is that Hot Shots as well? Where he goes to sit down and he starts sewing it up. There's
I don't
some parody, some 80s.
Yeah, I just
I'll
watched.
think
Hot,
of it if not.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could have been Hot Shot. I don't remember that bit specifically from Hot Shots.
Okay.
And then we get into. Sorry, do you want to say something, Paul? You got something?
yeah, no, it's funny because it does get to a pair like ridiculous sort of bits because I remember in Rambo 3, they must have gone, oh, we didn't have a gross moment where he fixes himself. Let's
Oh,
do that in
yes.
Rambo 3.
Yes.
And he's got that piece of wood that he
Wait
has
till you
to
see it,
push out.
Jay. Yes.
There's a movie where he gets a splinter and he ends up having to tie up, and they starts to pull it. No, I feel like it's got to be Hot Shots. What else could
Maybe
it
it
be?
is hot. Maybe it is Hot Shots. I just don't. I don't remember it specifically.
Okay, you would
I
remember
did
it.
watch. I watched a lot of movies in the last few days. I watched 4 movies for this episode. So
Wow.
and they're all like orange and red and sweaty. So it's like
Yep.
it's a lot going on.
I will say this: you mentioned I was sick earlier. The first day that I could actually concentrate, I couldn't watch movies or anything because anytime
Yeah.
I'd put something on, I would space out. But like there came a day where you felt good enough to focus, and I watched 4 movies in one day, just like
Yeah.
you talked about,
Yeah.
and they were all movies about movies, but movies about making movies. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, you were texting me. You watched Hail Caesar, The Player. What else did you watch?
You're right about those 2, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and something else. It doesn't matter, but yeah, like
Yeah.
4 movies about making movies in Hollywood. The one with Kevin Bacon, Christopher Guest, The Big Picture.
Oh,
That was the
okay.
4th
Never
one.
seen that.
But I will say this: because I didn't watch Once Upon a Time in the whatever it's called in Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
Because I watched that one third, I ended up then watching it again going to bed.
Yeah.
I liked it. I loved it so much.
Oh God, I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood so much.
I had only seen it once previously, and I thought it was fine. Now I think it's a masterpiece.
Oh, I love it. I think it is such a cool, good, fun movie.
Sorry for the tangent.
No.
It's so funny because you just I watched that on the plane ride over from Toronto to Vancouver when I went to Vancouver, and I think we talked about this when we were hanging out in my hotel.
It didn't come up because I always gush over it.
Oh my
Maybe you were
God.
talking to the other guys about it
Yeah.
before I got there.
Because it was one of those things where when I heard about it initially, because there was that controversy that Bruce Lee's family was
Bruce
very
Lee,
upset.
yeah.
Yes, that was huge.
And yeah, and having I was like, what is this about? He's done what? He beat up Bruce Lee? And then I watched that clip of it, and I was kind of like, it was taken out of context, and I was like, man, what the hell is this? And then I heard it was about, the backdrop was the Manson family, and I thought, man, I don't know if I want to see this, right? Because I know how it ended in real life. But what I failed to recognize was it's once upon a time in Hollywood.
Yeah, me too.
And it's going to have that fantastical sort of fairy tale ending, much like Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which for me, it didn't click until afterwards because I'm a dumbass. But I was a bit like, I'm terrified by Lambda, and it comes to the end, and they fill Hitler and Goebbels and all those assholes filled with bullets. And there was a part of me that was just very satisfied, but also kind of upset because it was like, but that's not what happened in real life.
That's how
Yeah.
I was too.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until afterwards, like, well, no, it's a revenge sort of fantasy, like Once Upon a Time, and I went, oh, and so I saw a clip on YouTube, of all places, of the end of the last little bit of or a snippet of that bit of the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought, oh, it's different. Oh, I get it. So I watched it, realizing this is one dude's sort of fantasy about. So of course, in a fantasy, he'll beat up Bruce Lee, right?
Exactly.
In a fantasy, he'll do that. In this, and so like the ending was, I was actually looking forward to the ending now to see how it's different
Yes.
hit from history. It's quite satisfying, to be honest. And then you can, once the story and all that, my own baggage sort of got out of the way, I was able to appreciate a lot of the performances in that and the writing
And the
in it.
production design is
Oh my God.
unbelievable.
And the effects. Did you know John Dykstra did the effects? Speaking of Star Wars.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, not till the credits I saw at the end. I was like, that's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
I do. Since you guys are both film nerds and very, very knowledgeable, can I ask a question about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Sure.
Because I watched it twice through in the same day, I really, I'm doing a deep dive. Why is Randy the narrator? Why is Kurt Russell, the stunt coordinator, the narrator for the movie? Because it's, he's like the stranger in Big Lebowski. I'm talking about the dude here. I like it. I love Kurt Russell. I thought he was great in the movie. I love the angle with him and his wife and the, not wanting the guy to work for them. And I liked it all, but I couldn't figure, it's clearly a choice. It's not just because Quentin likes Kurt Russell's voice. And I didn't know if that was well known. I was going to look it up and I forgot.
Honestly, I just always assumed it's because Quentin Tarantino likes Kurt Russell and likes his
Oh
voice.
shit. Okay. It may be that simple. It seems like story-wise, he crosses his T's and dots his I's, and I feel like there might be a reason.
And I think that there may be a reason, but I also think the power of ambiguity is one of my favorite things in movies in general. So whatever, if you put a meaning on it, then that's what's interesting about films.
I agree with you, except this is a story, as the title says. This is a story told to us, the audience. It's being told to us by the stunt coordinator that's in the movie. There's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah, maybe it's just a recounting of
He's like,
this
at the
story.
same time, he was driving down Hollywood Boulevard. At the same time, and he's he's the ringleader, keeping us all, because it's not like you said, the factual story. It's some fairy tale telling of it. He sort of keeps us abreast of what's going on, and it's a pretty important role. And I there's got to be a reason.
Yeah, I actually haven't thought too much about it. I always was just like, I just accepted it.
Okay, you should too.
But
Jay.
it's interesting. No, it's a very, very interesting point because I think conversation can happen now I got to rewatch the film because I want an opinion now.
It seems like this movie. I'm sorry, we're talking about the wrong movie, but it seems like this movie is Brad Pitt's story, right? I mean, I guess
Mm-hmm.
you could say it's maybe
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio's story. It's one of the, those two,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the love story between the two. I don't know. But then it's being told to us by a third person who's also
Yeah.
in the movie. It's not just it's not just Kurt Russell's voice and he's not in the movie. He's established.
Well,
He hired
and-
Bruce Lee, for God's sake.
And what's interesting about that point is you're right. It is Cliff Booth's story, because the television series that they're shooting right now in LA is
Cliff
from
Booth.
Brad Pitt's character,
Yes.
Cliff Booth's perspective. The show is about him. So it's a very interesting point, and I definitely am going to rewatch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and think about those things and how they connect.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are talking about this. I should have done the research before I asked you guys here, but I'm
I
very
honestly,
curious.
this first time I saw it all the way through was about a week ago, and to be honest, I forgot on the way back. I was telling Brandon I was gonna watch. I was watching the first few episodes of Peacemaker,
Oh.
but there was an awful lot of nudity in it just as they were handing out food.
That's
And
tough
I was
on
like,
a
okay,
plane.
I can't watch this because everybody's gonna go, this dude's a pervert
Yep.
watching this stuff. But I was just pleased that I recognized.
Nice.
Like, oh, it's Kurt Russell.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's him doing it.
It's got a record in it.
That is a great
wow.
collection.
It has
I love the Mad magazine.
yeah, it has a 45 in it with what is it? Bring a Little Lovin'
Very cool.
and Paul Revere and the Raiders, Good Thing.
So that's what she puts on
Yes.
in the morning, right? When she's getting ready and
Yes.
yeah. Super cool.
And yeah, it's got a recreation of the Rick Dalton Mad magazine, and then
So cool.
one of the Italian movie posters that Rick Dalton. I think these were randomly inserted.
Wow, that is cool artwork.
Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 fake posters made for when he went over to Italy to make
Italy.
movies.
Yes.
And they were randomly inserted into this collection.
I think I might watch it again tonight. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. And then I also love living in that world. I mean, I see he really did a love letter to Hollywood of that time.
Yeah, for sure.
And I enjoyed it so much more than Rambo 2 that I just can't
Yeah.
stop talking about it.
You know, it actually it has skyrocketed to the top of my favorite Tarantino movies for sure.
Interesting you
I
say
love
that.
it so much.
So the reason I watched it was because we just had this conversation the other day, and I asked somebody that question: "What's your favorite?" So it's Once Upon a Time for you.
It's definitely like top 3 because I love
Of
Inglorious.
9.
Well, I know, but I love Jackie Brown, Inglorious Bastards, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those I would say those are constantly I don't know which one is my top.
Previous to now falling in love with Once Upon a Time, I would have said Jackie Brown's the best movie. Just if you're going to sit down and watch a movie, here's a great story, here's great acting, great shots, great everything. Pulp Fiction requires a little more out of you, obviously, because there's so much going on. Those are the 3 for me, I think. Jackie,
Paul,
Pulp,
while we're
and
talking about
Once
it,
Upon
your top Tarantinos.
Pulp Fiction for me
Yeah.
is still because I remember going into the movie theater in university, sitting down because I really loved Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
And then Pulp Fiction was such a roundhouse kick to the face where it was just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
just moment after moment, like bring out the gimp,
Oh my
fuck
God!
this all up. Like we were just like, what is going on? I love the way the storyline, like everything was broken up
Yeah,
temporally and how it all
non-linear
sort of-
storytelling.
yeah, I love that. It was just like for me. So
It
that
may
just
be
sort
the
of
best
felt
version
like
of nonlinear storytelling I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
and it was like a core memory. So
there
that's
is
why
a-
it always.
Sorry, just to interrupt on that point. There is a movie currently in the theaters right now that is also an example of
Oh.
incredible non-linear storytelling.
Which one?
Weapons.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I've heard excellent things, but it does not
Oh.
sound like my kind of movie.
It's great. But sorry,
Okay.
Paul, I did
No.
not mean to
No.
interrupt.
Sorry, Paul.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, that was the Tarantino corner. Let's get back to Rambo 2. because we're just about to talk about a very famous sequence from the movie, and that is the jungle kill sequence, where he just picks off all of those guys. And I wrote them down in order as they happened. So the first one is he hides in a tree, pulls a guy in, kills him. The next is a vine strangle, puts the vine over the guy's throat, kills him. Shoots a guy off of a cliff, right? Then shoots a guy with an arrow. Shoots a second guy with an arrow hiding under a big rock. Pulls a guy down into a cavern, and then probably the craziest, coolest, weirdest, most fun one, where he covers himself head to toe in mud, and then hides in a wall and just somehow waits miraculously for this soldier to happen to walk by out of all of the jungle.
Dude, that shot of the Russian soldier there, and then in the background that eye opening up.
Yes.
And just, I lost my shit as a kid. I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
That's an iconic moment.
Totally.
It really is.
And right after that, then he jumps out of the water and shoots somebody with an arrow. Now,
Completely free of mud, too.
I know.
And
That's
his
what
hair
I
is
was
dry.
going to say. What I think is so funny is that he goes clean to mud to clean.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not just put the underwater arrow maybe before it? Or is that them explaining why he's not covered in mud? Is that the choice that they made? Like, it's just such a funny clean to mud to clean sequence.
Dude, you tug on that thread. So here's the thing, it's pissing rain the entire time that happens.
Yeah.
Right. When he
totally.
takes him out. And then so when he starts to run and they're all chasing him, there's no more rain. And he's completely dry. And he runs through that little village. He's running through the village, running.
Yes. It's dry.
Yeah, it's dry. And in the fields are bone dry.
Yeah, and all the boardwalks and all the bridges and everything
is dry.
Yeah, totally.
Everyone is dry. It's all dry.
Totally. Oh my goodness.
So dry that he can take a chicken and a can of gas and lure everybody into the fields.
Yes.
And set a trap and set it on fire. And it's so dry, even though it's got gas in it, it catches fire so quickly and spreads like crazy.
And so do the soldiers.
Right?
They're instantly engulfed in flames.
Because they're all so dry. And then the other thing that gets me is too, while they're burning, he takes his explosive tipped arrows, but he blows up the village.
Yes.
That's the part I'm like, man, they didn't do nothing to you.
Yeah,
why are you blowing up their village?
Yeah, this is not the camp, because he's gonna go and destroy the camp in the helicopter, right?
You burn down their crops, you kill their chickens, you steal their gas, and then you blow up part of the village.
Yeah.
That's why everybody hates Americans.
Yep.
Here, let me come help. It's like Team America.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is
by the way, that Splinter scene I was talking about is I'm gonna get you sucker with Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's such a great movie.
Which also is a parody of, everything, blaxploitation.
Yes. Then we get to the waterfall, and that's where we have the famous explosive arrow kill. He kills George Chung, and that is also parodied in Weird Al's UHF.
Mm-hmm. Same guy. Is it the same actor as well? Who's running?
No.
Where he shoots him with the chicken?
Oh no, that's Hot Shots.
Okay.
But I don't think it's the same actor. I didn't recognize George Chung, but maybe I just didn't recognize him. But I'm talking about Weird Al, the UHF. Yeah, the Rambo parody in UHF. It's one of my favorite actually, because the joke is like they're shooting at each other, and then they're standing within like 2 feet of each other, and he's still missing him with all the bullets.
Right.
And then he blows him up. There's also
they all blend into one.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Again, it's just the muscle, sweaty body, the headband, the long black hair, like Hot Shots and Weird Al's UHF. They're doing the exact same look because that's what Rambo is.
Yeah.
And they're all explosions, they're dry landscapes, like they do all roll into one. The bomb gets dropped off the waterfall, huge explosion, and then another fantastic sequence where the helicopter comes down to check to see if Rambo is dead, and he flies out of the water and grabs onto the helicopter. It is
He's the guy from
hilarious.
Waterworld already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's
The
guy?
Mariner,
Where's
the
his
Mariner.
jet ski? Yeah, the Mariner. Yeah, I was thinking like Friday the 13th. He like comes flying.
Oh,
out
that's
of the
good.
water,
Yeah.
like a little jump scare.
Yeah.
But it is preposterous.
Yeah.
How fast he shoots out of that water to grab, and he pulls the guy in.
Yeah. Pulls
That's
him,
what he does.
throws
Yeah,
him off.
Yeah.
Climbs on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Fights with the Russian guy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. This
That's
is
not
the
Vinnie Jones, right? It's not.
No.
It just kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Stallone met him, from what I read. The guy was a bouncer at a club as well. So Stallone kind of met him there and was like, "Oh, you're
The big
guy."
Russian goon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't read that.
Yeah. He was a laborer, and he also worked as a bouncer, and that's how Stallone met him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And cast him in the movie as the heavy.
Right after that, we have an explosion fest. I wrote down where Rambo takes the helicopter and he just blows up every single building in Vietnam. Apparently,
Well,
I like that the pilot just jumps out.
yeah,
He's like,
totally.
Fuck this,
Yeah,
I'm out.
yeah, I'm out
I
of
would
here.
have been like, land the helicopter. They're fighting. I'm
Yeah.
gonna land just in case my guy loses.
They're also this far away from the ground. Like
I know, but it's like I would land just in case. So if I have to get out, I can get out. I also love that it's an American helicopter with Soviet markings on it.
Okay,
Like, that's a Huey.
Yeah.
That's a
I
Huey.
didn't clock that.
Right?
Bell Huey,
and it's
yep.
got the miniguns and those. That's a very American thing.
Yep.
And even the rocket, the folding fin aerial rockets, that's a very American thing.
Yeah.
Right. But it doesn't matter because it's got Soviet markings on it. So, let's go.
Yeah.
Is this right before he plays possum? That was pretty good.
Yeah.
was-
So he shoots every building, rescues the POWs. He rescues the POWs,
Yeah.
and then he has a big helicopter chase with Podofsky. And
Sorry. As he's blowing up the base, I love that he's screaming at the shit he blows up.
Yeah.
There's like
Again.
and there's one where he blows up a truck, and there's a shot of Stallone going, "Oh!" Like, it is so fucking ridiculous.
So they do that in UHF too. That he's in the helicopter with Michael Richards, and he's like, and then it cuts to a shot of the Eiffel Tower, and he like blows up the Eiffel Tower. It cuts to the shot of like Mount Rushmore. He like blows up Mount Rushmore. Like he's just it just keeps cutting back to Weird Al yelling.
Yeah.
We're still here, Dave.
Yeah, we're still
to
going.
see you, buddy.
We got a little bit more to talk about.
Oregonian Dave up there from Astoria.
Yeah, so Stallone or Rambo rescues the POWs and then has that helicopter chase, and he ends up getting shot, and his tail is like smoking, and yes, he lands. He somehow gets away around to like a ravine, and then lands the helicopter, and then Podovsky comes and sees him like. Yeah, you're right. Playing possum. He looks like he's sleeping.
Yeah.
He's
He's like, we crash landed and I've passed out.
Yeah, and then there is this like quote unquote tense sequence where he's got his finger on the Podofsky has the finger on the missile launcher trigger in the helicopter, but he's checking. It's almost like he like
I'm gonna make sure this is a direct hit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then Rambo like from sleep like pops up so quick with a rocket launcher through a broken hole in the windshield.
Yeah. A tiny little hole.
Yeah, it's a tiny little hole. And blasts the other helicopter. But it is such a hilarious, like pop up.
All it meant to me was the movie was almost over, so I love it.
Oh my God. Here's the ridiculous thing about that, too. I mean, to add on to it. First of all, if you're going to fire a rocket, there's backwash.
Yeah.
All the dudes that he was saving are in the back.
Dead.
Where the backwash is. Second thing I noticed was the type of rocket launcher he uses. Initially up close, it looks like an American Laws rocket, right? It's the tube one where you open it up and then the sights come up and you see it in all the movies. Yeah, those. But then when he jumps up and he's got that, they do a quick cut to him pulling the trigger on an RPG, which completely looks different. And then they cut back to, and he's got the tube and the rocket comes out. So in that, they use two different, and it's so quick. It's like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
It's this terrible sort of. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, really. But that's the one thing that I found a bit jarring because, A, the rocket wash, but B, it's like they use an American rocket launcher, then a Soviet one, and then cut back to the American one, and he throws it down, and then of course, that one little rocket can take out the helicopter, like that monstrous. It's supposed to be like an Mi-24 Hind or something like that. But like that for me is just. They spend so much money blowing shit up, and the guy said we have to have real guns, and we have to do this, we have to do that, and then they kind of do that. It just feels weird. Is
it continuity? Is it bad direction? Like,
yeah.
It seems like they
Brad
just don't
prop
care.
work on the day.
Yeah. We need an insert of him pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Right. So
get a gun.
Yes.
So he kills Podolsky. Returns to base with the rescued POWs.
Because the helicopter still flies, even though it didn't a second ago. Now we're flying
exactly.
again. Fix that tail rotor, no problem.
He makes it all the way to Thailand with it.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I forgot. Base is in
tank of
Thailand.
gas.
Yeah, I forgot that.
All shot up. I mean, to be fair, it's smoking a lot, and when they land, later on when you see it, it's actually burned out. Like it's on fire.
Yeah.
So.
Just barely made it.
Yeah.
Plus, the wind coming through that hole in the windshield the whole time.
Yeah.
His eyes were super dry.
Kicks Cove in the nuts for hanging him out to dry. Runs into the base and shoots all the computers. God. Oh, he does that cool shot where he like wraps the bullet over his wrist.
But Richard Crenna's like, "Hey, Rambo, how's it going?" He's like,
I got
yeah, I'm busy. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Yeah, and then he just shoots all the computers,
and then the ceiling,
he shoots up into the air.
And then he finds Murdoch in another room, takes out the knife, puts him over the desk, and you think Rambo's gonna kill him, but he slams the knife into the desk. And he says, "Mission accomplished."
Which isn't even true because he didn't get a single photo.
No, he didn't actually do his mission.
No. It was his mission.
It was his mission.
Right.
It was his mission.
And then he does tell Murdoch, like, you need to go and find all the other POWs.
I love that.
And if you don't, I'll
find them. Or I'll find you.
Find them or I'll find you.
Yeah.
And then he has his moment with Troutman, Richard Crenna, and he's going to give him another Purple Heart, and he says, no, give it to them.
Oh, Medal of Honor.
Or Medal of Honor, yes, Medal of Honor. Give it to them. And then he doesn't, and then Richard Crenna wants to take him back to America, and he says no, like he's going to live out there, I guess. Take it day by day, he says.
I feel like Rambo would be his own good A-team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be a soldier of fortune. If you can find him, maybe you can hire him.
Right. Well, I mean, the continuity is there because in Rambo 3, he's still in Thailand. He's at a monastery fighting for money. Yeah, that's how they find him later on.
So he does stay, or he goes back.
Yeah.
There is one moment, that reminded me of when he's in shooting up the computers and he's firing the gun and he's all like, ah! There was originally in a test screening a Mendoza moment where it's the Mendoza, and they pan out. And it was after Ko dies, he was supposed to go, no! And they had that where it's like they zoom out on him. It's a top shot down.
And the bird fly away.
Exactly, her corpse, and he's screaming into the sky, and then the camera goes, and test audiences laughed so hard at it.
Oh my God.
They cut that sequence.
Yeah.
I posit that they should have left it in. I think if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna be ridiculous, be ridiculous.
Yeah,
but again,
it's right up there with like a Rambo Khan moment, Khan!
Yeah,
exactly.
That's exactly it. But it just speaks to, again, the hubris of thinking, no,
We're serious.
This is a serious action movie.
Yeah, this is a political art piece.
Yeah. So
I felt like this movie had no idea that it was half comedy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I really feel like it didn't know. I felt like I had to tell it while I was watching.
It is unaware of how ridiculously excessive and over the top it is, and how they took the thing that they thought audiences loved the most about the first movie and
Yeah.
jacked it up.
Well,
And
yeah, you're right. And speaking of audiences, here's some information about the release of Rambo. So, Rambo was the first movie to be released in over 2,000 theaters on its release date. It was
Okay.
released in 2,074 theaters. It opened to 25 million its opening weekend, which before marketing made back its budget completely. Just for context, First Blood made $6 million over 900 theaters its opening weekend. Rambo 2, or sorry, correction, Rambo First Blood Part 2 was number one for 4 weeks. It was only taken down by Cocoon for 1 week, and then Pale Rider, the Clint Eastwood film, for 1 week.
Oh, I
and
forgot
then
about Pale Rider.
and then started lowering when Back to the Future came out on July 3rd.
Right.
But for 4 weeks it was number one, then went to 2 and 3 until Back to the Future came out.
And Brandon, we've talked about this. Back to the Future didn't actually have a great opening weekend. It just stayed in theaters and rose and grew and rose and grew. The more people saw it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Rambo went on to make $300 million worldwide, domestic and internet.
The Rambo Part 2, Part 2?
Yes.
Holy moly.
Rambo First Blood Part 2 made $300 million worldwide, domestic and international box office. And that's why it's the second highest grossing film of 1985.
Wow.
The numbers, these numbers are just domestic numbers, but Back to the Future made 215 million domestically. Rambo made 150 million at number 2. Number 3 was Rocky 4 at 127 million. So
that was a mega hit from my recollection.
So
Rocky
Stallone
4
holds place number 2 and 3 of highest grossing films of 1985. And just for fun, both of those numbers combined are 277 million. And then we have Color Purple with 94 million and Out of Africa with 79 million. The other record that it holds is January of 1986. Rambo First Blood Part 2 was released on VHS, and it sold 425,000 copies on day one.
What the hell?
Beating out the previous record holder, which was Ghostbusters, that was 410,000.
Wow.
And at that time, the VHS release was $79.95.
Holy moly.
Oh my God.
Wow. That is so much money back then. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're printing cash. Wow.
So for the conversation that we had, obviously we like had fun watching the movie, but it's astounding that it's the second highest grossing film of 1985. And wow. I understand why, because it's what I guess audiences wanted at that time was the explosions and just the like mindless sort of like action hero flick, right?
Yeah, I guess.
It was very simplistic in what it offered and what it gave. And I think in terms of just pure escapism, it more than delivers on that. You don't really need to think too hard about it.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun to watch.
Okay.
I mean, bad acting and stuff aside, it's fun to watch that shit get blown up. It's fun to see this hero go through the ringer and come out on top.
Well, let me ask you this. Was it also like, did people, I mean, the movie's sort of basically saying that the Vietnam War never really ended. You know, it's still kind of going on in 1985. They even make a point of that. We're like, what year is it? 1985. Like, thanks, Sylvester. Appreciate that. I mean, that's one part of that sort of bothered me. I was like, well, they're definitely, I mean, there's theoretically still POWs there or whatever, right? I mean,
MIA at this point.
MIA, right.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. It just seems like it's sort of it seems like it should be heavier subject matter than it was, and maybe I'm wrong about that.
It also plays into the fantasy of we can still win this war, right? This whole
yeah.
idea of
Well,
we didn't
that's
get
what
our asses kicked.
he
We got
famously in
hamstrung,
this
but
movie
yeah,
says,
You're
"Are we
right.
gonna win this time?"
You're right. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're totally right.
That's one of his famous lines from
and
this movie.
so that's the big one, right? It's
Yeah,
like we're
you're
going
right.
to win it this time, and I think
We'll
that's
change history.
Like, yeah, you're in the middle of a Cold War against the Soviet Union. People are a bit scared. You're looking at unfettered capitalism with Reagan being in power as well.
Yep.
It is, somebody wrote, the 80s were all about excess.
Yep.
And this movie is like, it fits the zeitgeist of that moment.
Yep.
It was entertaining. And again, it was just one of these things, very, very simple.
It feels
that
like it
point,
smacks of
Paul.
irresponsibility, but maybe that's just me looking at it with a 30-year lens, you know?
Yeah, I think absolutely that's what it is. I mean, if you really, looking at it now, it's like, yeah, this movie's very problematic in terms of
Sure,
the
okay.
messaging and stuff like that. But I would, again, if you're built your psychological or your moral compass around the makings of this movie, you got deeper issues, right?
That's a good point.
There you go.
To your point, Paul, of it being enjoyable and simple, Siskel and Ebert both gave it thumbs up, and I have two quotes from Siskel here that I really enjoyed. Siskel said, "It's a movie full of logical mistakes, a movie with a premise we don't agree with, but as an action picture, this is fun, and the movie carried me along."
That's honest.
He also said, a predictable Vietnam rescue film, but an exciting predictable Vietnam rescue film. Which
All right.
I think both of those points are essentially what we've been saying from the beginning.
Fun ride,
right?
don't take it too seriously.
Exactly. The moment you pull on the strings or you start to think about the logic behind things, it falls apart.
Yeah.
This is just a shoot 'em up, blow up movie with a big sweaty guy carrying an M16, right? Like that's what we wanted in 1985, I guess, for this type of genre, I should say.
Yeah, I guess. You proved it with the box office and then the video sales. That blew me away. Away. I never in a million years would have guessed that the movie I just watched today would be the number 3 grosser of that year. Number two. Excuse me, number 2.
Put some respect on that name.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's it. We covered the film. The last thing I like to do on here, Paul, is you know about the app Letterboxd, right?
Yeah.
I think you've heard me talk about it. I love it. It's an app. People can follow me on there. I'm Brandon Mandel on Letterboxd. The link is in our Instagram bio, and people just use it to catalog movies. They write funny reviews, and so I always like to pull a couple reviews for the movies that we watch. So I'm going to read a couple of them here.
Nice.
Just Sam says, sometimes a good movie is Sylvester Stallone getting progressively more and more shirtless over an hour and a half. 3.5 stars. BMEJ says, this is my dad's favorite film, so I try to watch it at least once every 2 years to keep him happy. 4
Whose
stars.
favorite film would this be? That makes no sense to me.
Brian says, I love how Richard Crenna's entire role in this series is to tell people how fucking badass Rambo is. 4.5 stars.
Oh my God.
They're not wrong.
I'm Tired Boss says, Rambo is basically me every time I see a mosquito. 3 stars.
Meaning he goes that nutso every time there's
yeah.
a zzz. Okay.
Waffle says, felt like such a dad watching this. 3.5 stars. Emily says, there's not a single moment of this where Sly isn't literally dripping in sweat. 4 stars. And then finally, Timothy says, some days you just want to fire a big machine gun into a room of computers. 2 stars. Yeah, and that leads us into the next section, which is our own personal star ratings. So we rate these films out of 5 stars. I can go first if unless anybody has thoughts.
No thoughts.
Okay, well, if people do follow me on Letterboxd, they usually see my reviews before the episodes because I'm watching the movie obviously
Oh.
before, and I rate them and I write my own reviews for Letterboxd. So I rated this 3 stars, and part of that is because like it may not be the best thing, but I did have fun watching it. It maybe is more like a 2 star in quality, but that third star, like there is some really cool stuff.
Hmm.
And just for context, First Blood is a 5 star movie for me because I truly love First Blood, but there also is this element of I love I love watching films that are made in British Columbia. I
Mhm.
love mountains, I love the forest, I love the area that I live in.
The locale
So
was one of my favorite parts about that movie.
what's that? Sorry, I missed it.
I'm sorry to step on you. The locale is one of my favorite
Oh,
things about
yes.
that first movie. I loved the environment which we were taking
Yeah.
place.
So yeah, First Blood is a 5 star for me. I gave Rambo First Blood Part 2 3 stars, and then I did give Rambo 3 2 stars. So diminishing returns on this franchise for me. But that being said, Rambo First Blood Part 2 3 stars from Brandon. Anybody want to go next? Paul, Jay?
Paul should. He's our guest.
Yeah, I'll go
Paul?
next.
Yeah,
I'll go
Paul,
next.
go ahead.
I'd give it a three out of 5 stars. With the nostalgia filter on, I give it 3.5 stars.
Oh my god.
It's one of those movies where you don't have to think too hard. It's a perfect Saturday afternoon movie that you can put on and ignore
Oh my
until
God.
shit starts to blow up. You're not
Yeah.
watching it for character development. You're not watching it for any sort of overarching story. You're just watching a piece of 80s history, like a glimpse into what the zeitgeist was in the 80s in America.
Totally.
And so for that, it's fascinating. If you were to remove all the nostalgia and the filters, I give it a 2 stars just for the action sequences alone.
Yeah.
You remove that, and it is a 0 star movie because the characters are not fun to watch. There's nothing that it's problematic. It's xenophobic. It
Yeah.
is there's a lot going on with it. It is such a product of its time.
Mhm.
100%.
You cannot apply today's filters to it. And so
Yeah.
Well
with
said.
that,
Very well said.
it is one of these guilty pleasure movies where you just can't take it too seriously because
Yeah.
you will just go nuts.
Yeah.
So that would be my review on it.
So sorry, was that 3 or 3.5?
Or 2 or 0.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's all what kind of mood are you in? What
Totally,
kind of
yeah.
mood? There's so many qualifiers for it. But I think if you're just watching it for a nostalgia kick, a dad movie, and you're gonna put it on because it's on Saturday. They used to show movies on TV Saturday afternoon, right? You put it on. This would be like perfect. You put it on. You don't have to pay attention to it. You can go, oh, do you remember this part? And you watch it and you go off. So that'd be
Yeah.
3.5. But really, I mean, it's funny though, because that's exactly what I did a couple of weeks ago before Brandon asked me about this. I
Oh.
put it on so I could have it in the background because I hadn't seen it in a while. And I was posing toys and I had that in the background and I stopped
Yeah.
to watch shit blow up and I came back and I went back to it. So it sort of filled that. But if you're doing that, 3.5 stars. But
Okay.
anything beyond that, it's
So I love that. If you're not watching
Yeah.
it, 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's 3.5 with an asterisk.
yeah.
All right, and Jay, what's your star rating for this?
Oh,
Rambo,
Brandon.
First Blood, Part
Brandon.
2.
I'm tired of being polite. I'll never see this movie again. I hated everything about it. 1 star.
Hey, that's wonderful.
I feel very terrible doing that, but there is nothing redeeming about this movie for me, especially when the first one's so good and you tell me they only get worse from here. That to me is there's so many cars that come out when they're introduced. I go, ooh, I love that because of the idea that they're trying to accomplish. And then 1 or 2 generations down the line, I don't like that car at all because they've gone a completely different direction than I thought they were going with it. This is a prime example of that in film. Not for me, not my type of genre. Didn't see it when it was new. Don't find it campy. Don't like what it says. Nothing against any of the people involved. I think the casting was pretty interesting in that they got a lot of big character actors that I like from that time in it. I go back to what Paul said about the the Asian representation. Woo! It's a parody. It's a parody that doesn't know it's being a parody.
Well, yeah, you're right. Like, I guess I have.
I
like,
also can't find any quality in it except for the pyro.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally see what you're saying, and like I said, like I think in reality it's a 2-star movie for me, but the 3rd star is just because like I was having fun watching it, but it's because I was laughing at some of the logical errors.
If this were the oh, sorry, buddy, go ahead.
No.
If this were the first movie like this that I didn't enjoy, I probably would have been a little more polite. Again, 2 stars, maybe even 2.5, because of some of the points you guys made. But I'm ready to watch some movies that I think.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, the name of this podcast is A Blockbuster Year. So far, we have not covered many good movies. There have been a lot of stinkers, in my opinion.
But they're not. I mean, that's the thing. A blockbuster doesn't necessarily mean a good movie.
No, you're right, because
a lot of people saw it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It doesn't mean that doesn't mean quality.
So I guess my point then, Paul, is when we originally hashed this little idea to do this podcast, I thought we'd be watching movies that I loved from our childhood, and so far we've not really. I think Clue I liked.
Yeah, well, and
Brewster's Millions I loved.
Yes, and to be honest, we have kind of been playing the field, let's say, for not front loading with too many, bangers.
Yeah.
Because then we'll be stuck with all the garbage at the end that you have to kind of,
I know there's a method to your madness. I don't want to change what you're doing. I'm going with the flow. I just am ready to watch like Cocoon. I'm ready to watch Explorers. I'm ready to watch Summer Rental. There's so many good movies from 1985.
And you gotta earn.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Paul.
gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it.
All right. So back to that. I agree with what you said to your kids. You can't watch the end. You got to go through the ride.
Yeah, you gotta earn it.
Talking about these movies is way more fun than watching them. I'll say that.
Oh, sure. Getting back to what the point a point that I brought up was, it really is a slice of what the overall sort of state of the industry was, or what audiences wanted at the time. It's a fascinating sort of time capsule, and especially speaking towards the Asian representation, because that was standard practice.
Yeah,
that was the only thing in my mind that was missing was Yellowface.
Yeah.
We can't find an Asian actor, so we're going to get Joel Grey to pretend he's Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Right.
And sort of like they did with Remo Williams, right? They couldn't find a Korean actor to play this, so they put prosthetics on a white dude, like Genghis Khan, a la John Wayne, and they put him in there and it was a great character, right?
I go to Breakfast at Tiffany's every time. It's atrocious.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Atrocious.
Mickey Rooney.
Yeah.
So you can see, like, for me, there are moments where I'm like, oh, that's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's so bad. But I think movies like this are they're good to watch, so you could see how bad it was. So you'd never do that again, but you also appreciate better work later on.
You're making a great point here, but then speaking of the same year, and we brought it up a bunch of times, is I would say Rocky IV does a better job of that than Rambo, for me anyway.
Yeah, because again, it's Caucasian, right? The Russians.
It's less confusing.
Well, that's the thing. It's the Asian community has always been, it's different when it's Russians are ideologically different. Yes, they speak a different language or this or that. But when you talk actual looks and culture, the Asian community has always been the other. Even if they're integrated here, they are the other. Model minority myth. This whole thing. I mean, we could really get into it. I don't think anybody wants to hear about it.
No, it's great. Coming up in the third hour.
Yeah.
But it's one of these things where you just kind of go, it's a community that has been traditionally marginalized, whitewashed, overwritten by non-Asian writers. These are the kinds of roles that were out there. We mentioned all these great character actors, and look at the types of roles that they have been playing
Right.
for their careers.
I, not that I can actually prove this, but I bet you the Asian accent was written into the script,
Oh, I guarantee you're right.
right?
Yeah.
Like and that's just another example of like just the way they did things was what they was like what it doesn't matter, right? But it really does matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially today.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the slice of life right there. I mean, that's what there's a time capsule for what
Okay.
the it was like in 1985 when it came to cultural sensitivity
Yeah.
or this or that. There was no thought towards it altogether. They were every character in this movie is completely disposable.
Well, and not to mention
Expendable.
not to
even.
mention not to mention the way your culture is represented on film, right? You yourself as a young boy seeing all of that for many years, right? How does that make you
dude.
feel as a person?
Is
I
this
was
the
like,
movie
thank
that
God
made you
I'm
want to
not
be an actor?
Vietnamese.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be able to read all about it in Paul's upcoming book.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
His 30 plus years of acting.
My memoir.
right on.
Yeah.
Is that's really coming out?
It
Yes.
is. Signed a deal with Random House and working on it. And
Yeah,
it's gonna be-
yeah, I think-
Congrats. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you made the announcement maybe a couple of weeks ago at this point.
maybe like almost a month ago.
Yeah.
But
It's very
pretty
very cool. Your story of immigrating to Canada from South Korea when you were how old? 2?
3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
And
you probably don't
yeah.
remember much.
Nope.
Wow. Paul, are you on Instagram?
I am.
All right, I'm gonna look you.
You
up
can
now.
find me at Angry Appa on Instagram.
Angry. You don't seem angry at all.
Appa. No,
He
He
can
might
be.
Brandon.
Paul also
Oh, there you
has
are. All right,
a
follow it right now. Thank you.
yeah. Paul
thank you.
also has a wonderful YouTube channel, Bitter Asian Dude. I'll make sure that that's in the description after this
He's
stream.
been anything but bitter or angry for the last 2.5 hours.
He has that muscle though. Trust me, Jay.
Okay.
But Paul does Fun Boxing Sundays where he unboxes a geeky collectible and he talks about it. He has a wonderful YouTube channel and just a wonderful catalog of these long unboxing hangouts with the people in the chat. It's so much
Oh,
fun.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm not a toy
It is.
collector, but I'm into hanging out with you while you do stuff. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the majority of it. Like Brandon just said it. It's just like I unbox a geeky collectible. I do a half-ass review, but mostly we chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's wonderful community building. I think a bunch of nerds get together. I know a lot of friendships have been made online from all over the world. We've got, community members from Scandinavia, from England, from United States, Canada, obviously the UK. It's a really, really fun group of people. And
Wow.
Yes, it
it's
is.
nice for everybody to sort of get together and just sort of catch up and make fun of me and see me struggle, put these things together and
Yeah,
stuff, and just talk
it's a
about
really-
nerdy stuff.
It's a really good community on Paul's weekly shows.
I'm
It's a
gonna
lot of-
follow on YouTube as well right now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I'll join you.
Paul-
someday. Well,
Paul's
is there a
the best.
specific day you stream?
Sunday nights, usually around 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And this Sunday I'm not going to be able to do it because I'm actually going to be at a Star Wars convention here in Toronto called May the North, doing an appearance there on Saturday and Sunday. Look it up, maythenorth.ca. Going to be there. Fourth Moon Toys is one of the sponsors for the convention. They got some really great, interesting guests. Paul Blake, who played Greedo in
Cool.
A New Hope, is going to be there, and some of the original sort of, I think, what's his name? Christopher. He designed the lightsaber. Christian. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. his last name.
I don't know that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Can't help
well, because
you there.
Brandon hates Star Wars, so
Bitter.
That's-
What is it? Bitter what?
bitter
Asian-
Asian dude.
Oh, Bitter Indian Dude. Okay.
Bitter Asian Dude Inc. on YouTube. And yeah, come swing by, say hi. We have a
love it.
drinking game as
Yeah.
well. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's lots of fun.
And you're based up in Canada too.
Yeah, I'm based in
East,
Toronto.
East
Awesome.
Coast.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome.
Before we say our goodbyes, the last thing I got to do is next week we will be talking about Teen Wolf.
Oh,
I'm very excited to talk about this. Our guest next week from the YHS podcast and Toy Anxiety will be
Oh.
Craig Goldberg. I'm very
Cool.
excited to
Nice.
have him on the show. Only chatted with him a couple of times, but he's a great dude. And he's really good friends with Paul and I's mutual friend, Ryan Dole, who sometimes is in the chat.
just showed up right now.
Yep.
Nice.
Speaking
Is
the
he
devil
here?
will
Look
appear.
at that. Look at there, Ryan Dole. And I just was going to say, we will have Ryan Dole on this show. We just have to figure out scheduling because he has his show, Gotham City Tonight, that streams live on Wednesdays as well. So,
Gotham
One day
City,
we'll-
a Batman podcast?
yes, Jay.
Oh, I'm selling tumblers if anybody wants one. $3 million
I was-
a pop.
I was telling him about it. And his first question was like, archives? And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
we can
yeah.
go. We can go next
He
time
said,
you're in LA.
when are we going? So yeah, we definitely will have Ryan on. Ryan's show is all about DC Comics and the comic world, but maybe one day you could be on his show, Jay, and you could talk about the tumblers. But
I'd love to.
the dual streaming on Wednesdays is a hard for us to schedule at this point. But I promise Ryan Dole will be on this show.
By the way, the people who want to be guests on this Blockbuster Year show they're stacking up. People who host other shows. So let me know when you need a guest, and I've got plenty of people that we could plug in. You know,
Wonderful.
like you said, people with their own shows and stuff.
Yeah. I can't thank you enough, Paul, for coming and doing the show. You're honestly one of my favorite people in the whole world. You and I have become really good friends over the last few years, and Jay knows it because Jay and I get sappy with each other on this show. But I love you, Paul, and I appreciate you in my life so much. You're such a beacon of joy in my life. So thank you for being a part of it.
Brandon, that is amazing. Thank you so much, my friend. I love you too. It's been great getting to know you over the years and having our friendship deepen like that. Honestly, I'm so humbled by your kind words and right back at you 100%. Jay, it has been fantastic chatting with you. You're so funny and so smart and knowledgeable, and I love your honesty about movies, and I'm dying to know more about, get to know you a lot better too. So
Well, I hope you'll
thank you
be
so
on
much for
our
having
late
me.
night playset sometime. That would be we'd love to have you as a
Yes.
guest as well.
I would love that.
Yes. Yeah, you can
I
visit
love
the
you.
David
I love you as
Letterman
well,
set.
Paul.
Thank
I
you,
want to
Dan.
say I love you as well. I love you, Brandon. But Paul, thank you for being so generous with your time. And again, you really are. Brandon's right. You're an awesome energy. I feel like you contributed so much to this episode. I'm just
Totally.
really appreciative of your time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I do think you officially have the longest episode now.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, by
God,
quite
yeah,
some
I'm sorry.
margin. Yeah.
Yeah.
It flew
Sorry,
by, to
guys.
be honest with you.
I
These
like to
shows where
talk.
we don't
Totally.
like the movie, really, they're like extra bonus.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you so much. And Jay, I love you too. It's so much fun doing the show with you. We're only 8 episodes in, but it's the best. It's so much fun.
I feel the same way, man. I wish you were closer. That's my only bummer about this. I love when we did this in studio together. That was really fun.
Yeah, that's what we say the same thing about our friendship with Paul. Ryan and I are based out here on BC. Steve, who is on the Clue episode, is down
Yeah.
in Los Angeles, but Paul is on the east coast of Canada in Toronto. So
Well, thanks for
we're
staying
just
up
like-
late with us, Paul.
Oh, I'm
Almost
still on
midnight.
West Coast time.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I just
I
got
was-
back like yesterday.
I
so-
was just with Paul on Sunday. We were hanging out. We had a great time. But yeah,
One last
no,
question for Paul then. Do you
Yep.
know Greg Grunberg by any chance? He goes to a lot of those Star Wars things.
I do not, but I would love to meet him because he's got that great energy as well.
Yes.
And I've heard nothing but awesome things about him, and I'm a big fan of his work. So no,
He's
I have
a-
not had the pleasure.
He's a great friend, but I feel like we should all do this together. Maybe Greg could be in studio and you could be our satellite guest on the same episode or something like
Oh my
that.
God, I'd love that.
Okay,
I love
awesome. Awesome. Did we do it?
Well,
Is this it? Are we done?
Yeah, That's it. Thank you for watching A Blockbuster Year 1985. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Brandon Mindell. You can find me at BC DeLorean on Instagram. Jay, where can they find you?
Porsche Life 111 on Instagram, or Late Night Playset in the YouTube world and Instagram as well. And Paul?
And we've said it a couple times, but Paul, where can we find you just before we leave?
Oh, you can find me at Angry Appa on Instagram and Bitter Asian Dude Inc. on YouTube.
Wonderful.
Love everybody at home. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
See you next week when we talk Teen Wolf. Woohoo!